Yeah, buddies. Ron and Fez show. We're live till 9 o'clock tonight. Here's the phone numbers: 866-313-FREE, 866-313-FREE. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Fez Whatley.
Hiya, buddies. Welcome to 92.3 Free FM. Mayor Bloomberg, he is upset and outraged over the latest version of the video game Grand Theft Auto. He says it takes place in a city resembling New York City, even though they don't call it that. And he's upset about a video game where players get to kill police officers. So a couple things bothering the mayor about this.
What are the two things bothering him?
Well, the fact that they say it's not New York City, although there is a Statue of Liberty, a Brooklyn Bridge, and the Cyclone on Coney Island all appear in this game. And the fact that you can kill cops in it.
Well, you can't kill cops. You can play a video game.
Well, yeah, but your player can kill video game police officers.
Right, and they're not real. So here's what you need to do, Mayor Bloomberg. Try to pay attention to what's real. Let's say instead of trying to get past the pretend video game police, instead of backing them up, how about when your own police end up in a little trouble, you're not sitting next to Al Sharpton the next day at a press conference. You're on the side of the cops. I don't care what happens to pretend cartoon police.
But it just sets a bad example out there. I mean, it's bad to put that out there where you're in. Let's face it, this game is New York City, if it's got all these landmarks.
And let's also face it, it's a game. Spider-Man's a movie. Nobody's running around here shooting people with spider webs. You're not going to get freaked out every time there's a movie and there's a sniper in New York or there's a terrorist in New York. These things are fiction.
Yes.
We have real problems. It's New York City. Pay attention to the real problems, Mayor Bloomberg.
These are the sort of things that could lead to real problems. If you're allowed to, in this game, it's to me, it's like, where you're allowed to shoot a police officer in this game. No
one has ever killed a police officer while playing a game. You take the guys who, 9/11, the terrorists. Not one of them ever saw a video game in their life. How do you make the leap for you're sitting there playing a game and then there's reality? You could sit at that game forever. Nobody's going to die.
Yeah, not physically, but it's putting ideas in people's heads.
What ideas? You've played video games before, right?
Yeah, I've played them.
Did you ever get a single idea from one?
No, not to go kill a police officer.
Or do anything. There's all kinds of these games. I don't see the problem. We have actual problems. I hate when we act like, the big problems in this country are rap, heavy metal, and video games. It's really just a fake way around what's happening. You want to know what the problem is right now, Mayor Bloomberg? Is that you call these guys heroes and then you don't pay them enough money. Why doesn't that become one of the focuses that you have? It's ridiculous. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on, guys? For one time, I agree with Ron rather than Fez. This is like the fourth one that they've come out with.
Yeah.
And then all four of them, you can shoot the cops. And it's, you know what I mean? It's like, why is he making a big deal about it now? I'm
going to tell you right now, I only play one video game, Madden. And there's very little chance that's going to lead to me actually leading a team to the Super Bowl. It doesn't even make sense to me. Hey, Pete, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yo.
Pete, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Fez. Ron, love the show, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Fez, I'm on your side on this one. Video games, it's like TV. It trivializes violence. The kids just are so desensitized to it. It's like, big deal. Okay, so I shoot a cop. Big deal.
But you never played cops and robbers when you were a kid before you had a video game?
No, we were fighting it out just ourselves.
I mean, at a certain point, kids, and which, believe me, there's a problem. Kids punching each other would be more of a problem to me than a kid playing a video game. One way is just letting out this frustration or aggression playing a fantasy game. The other one is actually doing it. That's like saying if you watch The Sopranos, it's going to lead to you being into organized crimes. No, it's fiction. People can figure out the difference. Here's Ray. Ray, you're on Ron and Fez.
Buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, what's next? They're all complaining about Donkey Kong?
White people are so scared of black people.
Oh, did you play Donkey Kong as a kid?
Yes, I did.
Did that lead to Anthony chasing you around the station?
No, it did not. Not at all.
Where are you on this one, Earl?
It's a game. I mean, where it's just. I mean, we love the bad guy. We love the role of playing the bad guy, even though we not want to become the bad guy. We love Scarface. Scarface is a very popular video game. Does that mean kids are going to go out and become Tony Montana? No way.
Violence is part of our theater long before we invented video games. Shakespeare, violence. You're following, Richard III. You're following bad guys. This is all one part of it. Here's let me go over here to Steve. Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many movies do you think are shot in New York City each year? Do you hear the mayor complaining about the stuff that goes on in those movies? I'm sure there are some cops getting shot at or shot in those movies.
Not only that, but a lot of these movies, particularly New York movies, they show the cops as corrupt. Half the time, if you're watching a movie, the killer or murderer turns out to be the police who's being supported by the higher-ups. Basically, in a movie, cop means corrupt cop, almost all the time. Or else it's some rogue cop who doesn't go along with the system and goes out and does what he wants to do. How many movies have you seen where the federal government are the bad guys?
Well, movies where cops are getting killed, that's one thing. This actually puts someone in the first person where they're doing the killing.
They're not doing the killing, Fez. There's no one being killed.
They're the one that's using the pretend gun to shoot the cop.
Thank you. Pretend. That's it. It's just like if a kid has his finger and he's pointing, it going bang, bang, bang. No one will ever die as long as he's going bang, bang, bang. Here's Adam. Adam, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Great show. I just wanted to say it's a good thing that you can't kill puppeteers in the video game because Bloomberg would really go crazy.
Thank you very much. Charlie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Don't you think that Fez sounds a little bit like Bloomberg?
Yeah, he does kind of sound like him.
He does, right?
I'm taller.
Here's my thing. How many of these people that have actually killed someone said they did it because they were playing a video game?
I've never heard of it back. But, initially they always bring it up with some kind of metal music, some kind of whatever. And it really is always ridiculous. And again, this gives a chance for Bloomberg to say something that is like easy. It takes up time, takes up a little piece of the paper, makes him look like he's pro-cop. I'd rather see him make some pro-cop moves. Pro-real, breathing, physical cops. Maybe if he stops having lunch with Al Sharpton and backed his cops up, I might say, boy, this is a guy who cares about his cops. Personally, I haven't seen it yet. Jerry, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up there, fatties?
What's happening, dude?
Fezzy, you're being a real, PU something. Let me tell you, video games.
Just so we could be closer to countries like, Afghan, those peaceful countries, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran.
That is kind of true there. That's the kind of places where they're really always going out of their way to punish people that are involved in some kind of art. And, of course, it's not art if you don't like it. It's only art if you happen to like it. God forbid somebody's sitting there doing something you don't like. Anthony, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, buddies. This is a total phony outrage. And every day it's a daily dose of phony outrage. It's not ever addressing the real problem. And it's something that you get from Fox News every day. And I totally agree with Tony. I mean, this is the Taliban. This is American Taliban. I love it.
Anthony, I'm going to send you in the big-ass prize closet because I like the word you used there, phony outrage. This isn't a debate that's actually taking place. Bloomberg or any of these people who get involved in this, Gore's wife worrying about Prince, it's going on and on for you. They don't really mean it. It's fake. It's easy, and no one is supposed to sit around and say, shut up and get back to work. I honestly say this is idiotic. You don't even know what you're talking about. All right, let's give Tony out something out of the big-ass prize closet.
We'll get him a free FM prize pack. We'll take care of him with that.
Here is Greg. Greg, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Fez. Ronnie, a couple of weeks ago, you hit the nail on the head. There's nothing new in this world. All the movie lines are all the same. Video games, they're all dressed up, but underneath, it's all the same physics engine. There's nothing new. This is like the previous caller said, man.
And I really doubt in my mind that somebody actually goes from playing video games to being a gangster. Because I have a feeling that a real hardcore gangster probably is not interested in sitting around playing video games at night. It's not going to go down that way.
Now, you wouldn't be able to have a video game where the goal was to assassinate President Bush. You wouldn't be able to do that. Now, and these cops are public officials.
You could have one that you could assassinate a fake president. Why not? You have sniper games. Why couldn't you have one like that?
There was a game a couple of years ago where you can basically reenact the JFK assassination.
Oh, yeah. You could actually play that online. See how good of a shot you were. Again, Fez, you're not really going to do this. I don't understand. It's not a training ground. You don't learn how to be better with a gun or driving a car by playing this stupid game. If anything, you're probably going to get less girls than you ever would in your life. These guys don't see him getting a lot of girls. John, you're on Fez.
Hey, buddies, how are you?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Ron, I have to disagree with you. I got to agree with Fez. I'm an old timer. I like the Space Invaders and the Galaga stuff. I think it makes me want to build a spaceship and defend the world.
All right, when you build that spaceship, I will apologize to everybody. And then you go out and shoot all the asteroids, and when one gets too close, you jump into hyperspace.
I think he's being sarcastic.
He's being a little sarcastic there, Fez. It's our buddy Death Metal Mo. What's happening, Mo?
Oh, excuse me, Ron. Let me put this fine Swiss chocolate down.
I'm starving. Ain't chocolates, Earl?
No, we don't.
Oh, chocolate, Earl.
9170 checking in, gentlemen. Ron, I love you, but I have to disagree with you on this. I mean,
okay.
1985, Mario Brothers comes out, and I mean, just turn to P in your phone book. Look at how many plumbers we got, dude.
That is true. A lot of people did become plumbers after Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that's all I got. Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks, Death Metal Mo.
And, I'm not overly impressed with any woman who wears a WoW T-shirt that has a turtleneck underneath it. I honestly believe that's not the spirit of the WoW. Here's Troy. Troy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, guys? Old school, big-ass card holder 4540.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of times this outrage is so fake that it's stored up in the boardroom. Like, let's say you got a movie, a video game, any kind of project coming out, and then somebody says, hey, I'll have my grandmother crawl up in our protest, and then maybe we'll get some more free publicity on it.
Yeah, I know. You're probably right. They probably sent this game to Bloomberg. Everybody gets in on it together. Bloomberg looks good in the media. Then all the kids are hearing about this. Like, hey, there's a game where you ride around New York? Sounds fantastic. Everybody's in on it together. All right, peace. Here's Frank. Frank, you're on Fez.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
I got a couple things I want to say. One is, they got rating systems on these games. They're telling you what you're up against and what you're looking out for. And the same thing about movies. I don't come out and see a movie where a cop was killed and want to go out and shoot somebody. I don't get it.
The rating on this game should probably be stupid. That should be the actual rating. You know what I would actually put the rating as? You're too old for this. No matter who you are, you're too old for this game. Hey, George, you're on Ron and Fez.
Buddies, big-ass card holder 1246, checking in.
All right, my brother.
Almost says what?
What?
Don't fall for that, Fez, please.
So what I find hilarious about this topic, boys, is that Bloomberg's upset with the cops being killed. I can see that. but he's okay with soliciting prostitution, throwing Molotov cocktails into crowds of people, firing rockets at cars, carjacking. Everything else in the game is totally cool, right?
I don't think he's thrilled with anything that displays New York as a crime haven. So I don't think he's happy with any of it in there.
But it seems like he's only bringing up the cop part. This is unbelievable. She's taking off the turtleneck. Fantastic. Let me go over here. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez. And
Hello?
keeping the T-shirt on. I wouldn't be able to do that in a million years.
Like Houdini.
I would not know how to pull it off. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead, buddy. You're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I was in the military, and I just want to say that, Fez, you're right. The military uses video games to desensitize us for when we shoot people, and I believe that it does have an effect.
Then you're saying we should get rid of the military?
No, I'm saying that if you think that playing video
But
games
doesn't it
to shoot
seem
cops
to...
does not
what do you
desensitize
think
you're wrong.
really leads to more people killing people? Being in the military or playing video games?
I'm not comparing the two. Why should I compare the two?
But I mean, we're sitting around. Fez is saying video games lead you to kill people, right?
There's an interaction there.
Fez, you're saying video games lead you to kill people, right?
Yes.
And you're against killing people.
Yes.
So basically, you're anti-military. Basically, you're anti the troops. Dave, put out a press release. Fez is the only person on the air who's come out against the troops.
I have not spoken out against the troops.
Even Jane Fonda hasn't come out against the troops. Here is Terry Yerman Fez.
Hey, Ron, I got to say, I think Fez is right on this one.
Yeah.
Ever since I started playing Pac-Man, all I want to do is pop pills and run from my demons.
Yeah, everyone's a gangster.
Well, not everyone. We're trying to get you to join. Here is Liz. Liz, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
So Ron, I just wanted to ask you what you thought of this now. I know it's a little different, but about 8 years ago, a video game came out where you were actually playing a Nazi killing Jews in a concentration camp, and there was like a huge outrage about it. What do you think about something like that?
To me, everybody is going to be outraged about what they're going to be outraged about. But let's put it done this way. Can you make a movie like that? Can you sit around and have a movie like that?
Well, I mean, there are, of course, movies about the Holocaust, but not necessarily where the Nazis are protagonists.
All right, so you're saying there can never be a sympathetic Nazi in anything.
I'm not saying there couldn't. I'm saying there haven't been, probably for good reason.
But if you sat down and watched a movie that had a sympathetic Nazi, you don't think you could say into your head, this is ridiculous, I wouldn't be a sympathetic Nazi?
No, I mean, of course I would think it would be ridiculous.
Then you're fine. You are absolutely fine. Now, the next move is you are saying every other American's too retarded to be able to pull it off.
No, I'm not saying it. I wanted to know what you thought about that.
I really don't make it my business to sit around and think about what I could censor. I have this thing with Earl all the time over the N-word. We don't use it on the show. But I really do not want to sit around and talk about making laws against words. Then, on our XM show the other day, we came up with like at least 42 other words for black people that Earl would like to have censored.
Yeah, I mean, because they're hateful, they're disrespectful, they shouldn't be used in any context.
I still have some coming in.
You don't want to live in a world where you can't be disrespectful. You don't want to be in that place where they sit down and the government's watching you so closely that you can't yell out an insult somewhere. No, I hope you don't want to live in that world.
No, I don't want to live in that world.
Because you don't think it's disrespectful, let's say, to jeer ball players, right? That's disrespectful. You're purposefully being disrespectful. That's the point of it all. That's the game.
Yes, I understand that point, but...
Why not get rid of bum? So next time we go to a ball game, you can't yell out, you're a bum.
I mean, but even so, like, there's just certain words that they trigger such an emotion.
All right, don't say trigger, because that's too close. Trigro would be an easier way to do it.
Yeah, and words that have a long time historical context, and you know exactly what they mean, and you know exactly what the intention
And they
is.
can't hurt you, Earl. I'm going to tell you the truth. They cannot hurt you. You can rise above it.
See,
you
Earl,
really can.
Earl, you would be furious if a game came out where the goal was to hunt down and kill black people. You would be furious about that because it promotes hate, and this cop situation is the same thing.
There are games like that.
I don't know where you've been, Fez, but you hunt down people in every game. Every game you're killing somebody. Or else, you know what you got?
What?
A really dull game. And you know they have tried to play games where you're not shooting people, and it's dull as hell. Here's Ron. Ron, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Great show. Just want to say, in all seriousness, I lost a pet frog due to video games.
What game?
Let him go in the street.
Frogger.
He was not in all seriousness.
Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello?
Yes, what do we got for you, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
What can we do for you?
Actually, I just, I don't know, is it here or not?
I think you're probably too dumb to use the phone. Yes, you were on the air. Here is Stan. Stan, you're on Ron and Fez.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Fezzy. I played Pac-Man growing up, and I was eating marbles for weeks after playing with that.
All right, see, I don't think it happens.
It didn't.
It seems like you got a lot of people agreeing with you, Fez.
I don't think they are. Despite the fact that they're calling in and saying they are, they're not.
Stop worrying about him, Mayor Bloomberg. Really. Seriously, consider getting behind the real cops. Why don't we do this? Why don't we have a game based on New York City where every time a cop shoots a perp, the mayor goes and has lunch with Al Sharpton and makes statements with him. Maybe that would show some kind of responsibility. Uh-oh, look where we are already. It looks like you've got to have lunch with Sharpton. Damn it, I can't play this game right. Every time I turn around, I'm meeting with Sharpton. Right back, Ron and Fez show.
I-57 Ignite. It's what you can get now that you can't get Ephedra. You want your energy boost? The Ephedра's nowhere to be found. Now it's I-57 Ignite with Shada Gray.
I like to eat a lot of I-57 Ignite before I turn on my video game, play video games, and then listen to metal rap. I listen to metal rap, I play video games, and then I-57 Ignite.
I-57 Ignite, it's better than Ephedra, and you can get it at your local CVS pharmacy. Judge for yourself.
And see these scissors? I'm running with them. I-57 Ignite gives me the energy and focus to run with scissors.
You can even try a bottle for free by calling 877-I-57-DIET. That's 877-I-57-DIET.
I-57 Ignite, it goes along perfectly with heavy metal, rap, violent movies, slasher films, and, of course, video games. I-57 Ignite, it's got everything that everybody else is afraid of.
You can also get it online at myi57.com or give them a call, 877-I-57-DIET, 877-I-57-DIET. No ephedra, no problem. Now there's I-57 Ignite. Get ignited with I-57 Ignite.
It's here on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say that, I think I agree with. I think it's wrong. There's plenty of games out there that are like that, and I think it's just another reason to complain about something. I mean, The Godfather came out not too long ago, and my husband sits in the living room and cops every night. You know
yeah,
what
the
I mean?
Sopranos have a game out. I don't see anybody
exactly.
complaining about that. There's a Reservoir Dogs game out there. It's all the same stuff. And yet, since Bloomberg doesn't mention that, then Earl and Fez don't jump on the same bandwagon. Earl, what's been on your mind? You tried to tell me something during the break.
Yeah, Hall of Fame outfielder Dave Winfield, he's out promoting a new book called Dropping the Ball, and he's made some very strong charges about Major League Baseball and how they're not recruiting and not actively going after African-American players, and that when he was a player, when he started out, 25% of the league was black. Today, 8% are African-American players, and he thinks that they should do a little bit more outreach.
What do you... first of all, they are going after the best players, right?
Yes.
If there's some black kid out there who's fantastic, I'm sure they want him on their team.
Oh, without question. But at the same time, why give up a portion of your potential audience, for one thing, because fewer blacks are watching baseball, fewer blacks are
but
watching...
you're acting like you can't watch baseball unless the people are the same color as you. And that was the whole... what you're doing right now was the argument that they had to beat with Jackie Robinson. When Jackie Robinson came into the game, one of the arguments is white people don't want to sit around and watch black ball players. Why not just have a league where the best ball players? And first of all, it's not like black people have lost this percentage to the white majority. They're losing it to other minorities. They're losing it to the Latin ball player, and now they're losing it also to the Asian ball player.
No, but you can also make the argument that baseball has not made that effort to really sell the game, really recruit. I mean, as a kid, I was sold the game. I saw guys like Reggie Jackson, the A's of the 70s. I
will guarantee you right now that there's more ball games on TV than when you were a kid. It's impossible to think that people are not familiar with the game of baseball. They may be, turning their back on it a little bit, but right now, let's face it, the Latin ball player seems to be at a much higher level. So what? Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, but you don't think there's a lot of economics that play into that as well? I mean, you can probably...
You are kidding me.
Yes.
First of all, these Dominican guys grow up using a soda bottle as a glove until they were in 10th grade. Every one of them has a story of, I played with no shoes. I didn't even know what a glove was. They just go out and play ball all the time. That's what they do.
But you don't think Major League Scouts are looking at, Major League teams, they don't look at the economics. Hey, I could sign this player, let's say out of San Pedro to Marquees, for a fraction from what I could sign a kid coming out of, black kid coming out of high school, coming out of college.
No, I think absolutely not. I think that they want the best ball player. First of all, a lot of these Latin ball players end up making $15 to $25 million a year. So they're not a bonus. You're not sitting around going, if a guy becomes a star, he becomes a star. He's going to have himself a lawyer, normally of Jewish descent, who is going to make sure he gets paid just as much as someone else. Why can't I get into that these kids are working harder at the game of baseball, and they're coming up, and that's a good thing. You act like somehow Major League Baseball needs to have X amount of blacks on every team.
No, I'm not saying X amount of blacks, but I think at the same time, they're not openly recruiting, and they're not openly going after future fan bases.
Forget future fan bases. And they are looking for you know what makes a fan base? Winning team. You don't sit around, if you're a fan of the Mets, you're not sitting around and going, I'd rather see a white guy behind the plate hitting 280 than a Spanish guy hitting 310. It just doesn't happen that way. Hey, Tom, you're on Fez.
What's up, Ron and Fez? How much what?
What?
Please, Fez, don't fall for that.
Listen, Earl, not for nothing, but a lot of white players aren't being recruited anymore either, and that's simply because a lot of players in South America, they're being recruited because they're hungry. It's not like in America anymore. These players aren't hungry. It's the same thing happening in boxing. Eastern Europe has all the heavyweights because those guys are hungry. No one's hungry to go after stuff like they used to be. So it's a little different world. Stop crying racism and just wipe your you-know-what, all right? Because I don't think you have one.
Here is Rob. Rob, you're on Fez.
Yeah, Earl, that guy's right, man. You're a dick. You really are. I just can't believe. Yeah, what do you think about the NBA? Are there any minorities in the NBA that, bitching about that the NBA doesn't go after recruiting minorities?
I'll tell you what, the black ball players starting to lose it to the Eastern European. And now also Italian. Why, Earl? These guys are working harder. They're not trying to go out like any American and go, hey, this is too tough to play. They're playing harder. They deserve the shot.
No, but you know what? But the NBA, they're selling the game harder in Europe than they are in America.
Why do you got to sell the game? They've got a product. The fan wants a winning team, and you're going out of your way to find the best players. If these guys are trying to run all over Asia and Africa to find ball players, you think they're not going to sweep through Compton or Oakland? I guarantee you they're looking at everybody. Here's our buddy Redding. How you doing, Redding?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
What is this with you and always thinking that the blacks are, that everyone's against the blacks? You always seem to feel that way, and I just don't understand it. The reason why there's only 8% in the league now is because they're spreading out across the world now. They've sold us on the product. It's now selling the rest of the world on the product.
Here's the thing. These Dominican kids are waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and then playing ball at 6 o'clock at night, and they're 8 years old. They're 10 years old. They're 14 years old. I think recruiters are out there. I mean, if they're going to go looking through South America to find a shortstop, I guarantee you they're in Alabama as well. The kids are just not coming out of America right now.
No, but I think one of the reasons why they are going to South America and to Asia and to all these other countries is I think they're thinking broader. Look at Hideki Matsui when they brought him over to Japan. What happened? You had this huge influx of Japanese fans. You had this huge influx of potential sponsors.
And that's only because it's new. That's only because we're at the new point. If you're looking at, a world market, that market's changing. But they're not doing that just to box out the black players. There's not a black general manager in this country that wouldn't sign a 300 ball player. Not one. There is not one. You show me where there's some racism against a black player. I would say there's a guy who's going to lose his job, not for being racist, but for being stupid. It's too difficult to hit a ball, to sit around and act like you don't want somebody who can't do it. Hey, here's Brandy. Brandy, Ron and Fez.
Hi, I do not agree with Earl, and I'm black. And I think that recruiters go where the game is being played. If they're good players that happen to be black, they'll get recruited. Also, maybe black people aren't promoting baseball to their children. Maybe they're promoting football and basketball. That's all I see in the neighborhood being played is basketball. And there aren't any blank fields that people can actually play ball. People play where they can play. Then they play what's available to play. Maybe he needs to think about that and stop setting us back by always playing the race card. We need to do something else to promote ourselves with economics, not with what they're choosing.
No, but that's a really good point, though, Earl. Though you would think that your beef in the world would be to have more black CEOs or more black congressmen. Yeah, you want more black baseball players.
Exactly.
No, but what Winfield points out also is there are no black general managers. There's very few black general managers. There's very few black CEOs. There are very few black owners.
There are very few black CEOs because blacks do not teach their children that they should be CEOs. When you go to business school, and I'm about to apply to business schools, they want African Americans. They want minorities in the schools. But the thing is that minorities just aren't being groomed to go that route. They're being groomed to be rappers and basketball players and football players. And I'm sorry, but
and I'll tell you something else, Earl. And the black basketball player is disappearing, not the rate of the baseball player, but a rate I never expected to see over my lifetime. And one of the things is the moment those guys get signed, they feel like they're done. And these European kids are sending all the money home. It really is a different, and I'll blame that on American values because we cannot wait to start celebrating and get a giant pool shaped like a sneaker. We cannot wait in this country to do something stupid with our money.
No, I have to disagree
Thanks,
with that.
Brandy.
With that somewhat. Look at a guy like Ken Williams for the Chicago White Sox. He waited forever to become a general manager, was qualified. Omar Minaya of the Mets took forever to become qualified.
But you're acting like when these guys become general managers, they're going to start getting more blacks on the field. That's what's going to happen there.
And to a degree, it's already
not going to happen.
It already has happened.
They are not going to become a general manager. Their first thought is going to be, I need to win the pennant, not I need to get more blacks in. I might believe that they might try to give more blacks breaks as coaches, but I guarantee you, none of these guys Frank Robinson would never go out of his way to keep a black guy in the lineup who didn't belong there. Just would not occur to him. Let me head over here to Elisa. Elisa, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ron Fez. I'm big-ass card number 1097.
All right, darling.
You know what? I've always loved Earl, like, from years back, but I never had any idea that he was such a racist. Everything is about race with him. It's amazing to me. And I think you're absolutely right, as usual, Ron, that Dominicans do work harder. And it's not because they're Dominican, but it's because they're hungry and poor.
Right. They need it. And not just for themselves.
It's not because they're black or white people who want to play the game and play it well and want to make it to the major leagues usually do. So I guess black kids don't want to do it anymore.
All right. Thank you very much. Here is Frank. Frank, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, take a look around the ballparks in your neighborhood right now and see how many kids are doing a pickup game of baseball. They're all watching video games. There's no kids out there playing. They all got play dates to get together and play a game.
And you know why the other reason is?
You go to another country and the kids are out. If there's daylight, they're playing. They're out running around entertaining themselves.
Women in this country have been brainwashed to think if their kids go outside to play, that child molesters will grab them and run away with them. And that's why you don't see kids out playing on their own. When I was a kid, a play date would have been preposterous. That you could have sit there at any age and play with your mothers watching you would have been the most embarrassing thing in the world. You're not going to blame that on anything more than the fact that somehow, thanks to Dateline and all the cable shows, of making the people feel like your children are in danger 100% of the time. That's what's happened in this country. We're afraid to go out.
When I was a kid, a play date would have really been a welcome thing.
Mario, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing, guys?
What can we do for you, bro?
Hello, Ron?
What can we do for you? You're on the air, Mario.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a baseball coach at Lehman High School in the Bronx, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we don't recruit. What we're getting is the new wave of immigrants coming in, Earl and everyone else. They're just here. So they play baseball. They want it badly. So, of course, they're going to throw a better number. They got nothing to lose. Blacks are moving into other sports in other areas. Earl should be concerned that, yeah, we're not CEOs. We don't own a major baseball team. That should be the issue, not
right.
the player. Player don't make any money. Be the owner of the team, like Steinbrenner.
I agree with you. That's where you want to do, and not just in sports. You should really be saying to yourself, Earl, I like to see, black people move up and all kinds of businesses. Thanks, Mario. But you can see Mario's point. Immigrants come into this country that love baseball. They outplay the kids at that age. Black kids prefer playing basketball, maybe football. The reality of it is everybody should be able to play what they want to play.
No, and I completely understand that, though, but I think what...
Earl, look at you. Every time you swung, your foot was in the bucket. I couldn't change you. I worked over and over with you in the cages. I couldn't make a change.
No, but as I was saying before, I think what the point of this was that why can't they recruit? It's like you have a fan base.
Recruit how? What do you mean? You act like there's some black kid who's fantastic that they are not going. Like you want Major League Baseball to go door to door. What are you looking for?
No, I mean, be better ambassadors for the game for the next generation of kids. Like instead of a kid, let's say, might be getting, let's say, soccer foisted upon them. Why not foist baseball upon them? Why not promote the game to not so much?
But Major League Baseball's their job is not to run the little leagues. They're not involved in that. Why should they be?
No, but they've always promoted the game. They've always promoted themselves. Where you always had like the Babe Ruth League. You had the Mickey Mantle League.
But those were not run by Major League Baseball, and all those leagues are still around. First of all, I would bet out of all the sports, the Little League version of football is the least played, but people love watching football. People don't necessarily like playing football. They're not crazy about, getting tackled, but they love watching the game. It's our buddy the Blowhard. How you doing, Blowhard?
I'm all right, buddy. Listen, this whole argument is insane. What it comes down to, what Earl is saying, is that if you have an all-black team, let's say in the NBA, I shouldn't watch that team because there are no no white players, Earl? Is this what we're trying to get at here? Because what it comes down to is sports, baseball especially, has become global. As for this exploitation you mentioned of Latino players, it couldn't be further from the truth, because every major league team has scouts all over the world as far as Australia. And what happens is the major league teams have bidding wars. And you've seen it with the Japanese players. The Yankees and the Red Sox recently went at it with this pitcher from Japan.
But you know what? We even to take a step back, I bet basketball is more popular around the world right now than baseball is. And both of those sports around the world are more popular than American football. The one thing that might keep football played by Americans is it doesn't seem to be that adopted around the rest of the world right now.
And you know what, Ronnie? Back in the day, we had heroes, and I worshipped Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier. It's amazing how when sports is probably one of the places where race is really never a factor.
Sports and music are the two things that's going to get a kid to break down any racism. That's for sure.
And it's basically what you mentioned. It's capitalism. Owners want players who can play green, white, black, regardless. And because it's such a global game, they're just going, all around the world to look at the talent pool. And there's been studies, I've seen this, where a lot of African-American players, Earl, are bypassing baseball and going into football. In the last 20 years, the amount of football players who are black, they're dominating the league now.
Right. It's just not as popular a sport as when you were younger, Earl. It's that simple. Thank you, Blowhard. Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello?
What do you say, Johnny?
Hi, it's Sean.
What's happening, pal?
Hi, I'm calling to comment on this Earl thing. I've been involved with my Little League for about 10 years now.
I get 2 radio shows.
In interest. It's just that the kids aren't as interested. While our league attendance has not declined, the number of African-American kids has.
So where do you go on that, Earl? It's that black kids don't seem to like baseball as much as they used to.
No, and obviously there's a cultural shift. There's a time shift that obviously with basketball, the great thing about basketball is that you can play any time. Like whereas baseball, you need a handful of guys. So there's obviously a numbers game there. But I think
But look at this. You're never going to see tackle football games played in the street. That's the rarest of all rare things. And yet we're having, every wide receiver out there is black right now. And by the way, doesn't seem to turn off white people. White people seem to be able to watch the game even knowing that most of the people who score are not going to be white.
Yeah, but there's also that affection towards that white wide receiver. I remember a couple of years ago with the Rams, they had, what was that guy's name, Ricky Prohl? He seemed to be like this kind of folk hero because he was like the one white guy with all these black guys.
So what is your point?
I'm saying even still with football, even though it's primarily black, the NFL, they'll still promote to those suburban white communities. They'll still be very aggressive to be ambassadors to the game, to sell the game to a younger generation.
So you're blaming baseball for not reaching out to the kids. That's what's bothering you more than anything else.
You want some PSAs with some black players saying, hey, kids, come play baseball.
Yeah, again, it's everyone's saying, how to expand a fan base, that it's a global game. You have a fan base right here in America that
has pretty much tapped out. It's like Coca-Cola. Everybody knows the product in this country. Here's Justin. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, why is it with Earl, everything's always got to boil down to race? Anytime, a black guy fails somewhere, it's always got to be about race. It can never be any other reason than race for Earl.
Earl, what's the race thing?
Well, the race thing is always brought up. Here we are, we're almost a decade into the 21st century, and we're still having the first black this, the first black that, the first African-American this, the first African-American
I don't even know what you're
that.
talking about now.
No, but
What are you talking about? You got Obama. That seems to be plenty. I don't even see all the blacks getting behind him.
Well, blacks are getting behind him, but race is still an issue, and 9 times out of 10, it's it's not black people who bring it up, they'll say, hey.
This time it was. Here's the one time out of 10. You brought it up. You and Dave Winfield, who, looking at me, Earl, is a seagull killer. That man aimed at that seagull.
It was an accident.
No, it wasn't. And I saw him smile. I TiVo'd that. I ran it back, and he had a smirk on his face like, God, I can't believe how good my arm is. Drew, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Buddy, what's up?
Yeah.
So, Earl, I got a question for you. I mean, I played hockey growing up, and I didn't see anybody trying to sell that sport to me. How come, for some reason, you don't seem to think that it has to do with the selling aspect of the sport, not really having to do with the fact that kids don't really just want to sit down and eat Domino's pizza and just play video games and just get diabetes? Like, why do you think it has to be a racial motivation when it has to do with just a lack of motivation, period?
Well, when you brought up hockey, hockey is never going to be as big a sport as, let's say, football or basketball. I mean, their fan base is primarily European and Canadian, and it always will be, because the NHL, again, they don't sell the sport to Americans. They don't really go out of their way to sell it to that future generation.
First of all, they've moved the sport down south. It seems like they've sold it on some level, that they went and pushed that the teams are no longer in Canada. They're in Atlanta and Dallas now. Doesn't even make sense how much. It's ridiculous. The things that you're saying, Earl, are somewhat ridiculous. It seems like, do you want to have a black cap on the teams? You got to have so many black players?
No, I'm not saying...
then so many white players, so many Spanish.
I'm not pushing for a quota system at all. I'm just saying that I don't see what the harm is.
If we're going to do the quota system, I'd like to have every diamond to have 7 white guys on it at every time. I like a slower game. I like a slower paced game. George, you're on Ron and Fez. I don't think I'm going to get it, Fezzy. Just we're doing
they
a wish
won't do
list.
it.
I'm gonna put my wish out there. George, you're on the air.
Hey guys, ESPN actually did a story on this about 2 years ago, and they just said that the black kids are just not playing baseball anymore, and they even had nonprofit groups that are supporting, like in Compton and stuff, trying to rebuild these sports, and they're just not getting involved. It's dying. It's becoming a Latino sport.
It really is becoming a Latin sport. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey,
Yeah.
Earl, man, I used to ride for you, but you sounding real ignorant right now. Ronnie, I think you need to go to South America and get another producer or something.
I would love to. I would love to go down in Dominican, pull me up some young producer who's using coconuts as headphones, has never really had real headphones. Bring him in here and let him work for $1 a day. Ron and Fez. A good night to have a party.
It was a great time at Bar 9, and you're right. It was just, everyone was just into everybody else. You know, there really wasn't that much standoffishness. People were meeting people and just moving around the room.
The big no-show, Tian. Why? Happy typing girl. That's all I'm saying. I'll put it that way.
Really?
I like to see that in Board Gossip, as a matter of fact, Dave. Oh, yeah, it's a different one. I forgot. I got my two things mixed up. But look into it a little bit, because something is obviously going on. All right, 866-313-FREE. Now, the next big party is coming up. Is it this Saturday, Fez?
It is this Saturday at F.H. Riley's in Huntington Village on Long Island. So that's at F.H. Riley's, and Art of the Topless will be performing.
Now, F.H. Riley's, isn't that one of those celebrity restaurants you read about? It's one of those things where you got the big celebrity hanging. Is the big celebrity going to be there?
Yes, the big celebrity will be there at F.H. Riley's.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, he'll be a very vocal silent partner that night.
Art of the Topless, they played at our show before.
Yeah, they played at the Big Ass Bash. They're the band that I performed It Makes Me Fez with.
Very nice.
So they learned that song, and they will be performing about 10 o'clock at F.H. Riley's this Saturday.
They do a lot of songs from the Ron and Fez show, a lot of songs from the O&A show. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to do more from the O&A show. I think they're just, I hope they do a couple more of our songs, but it'll be great. All right, let me go over here to, well, first of all, what else you did something crazy over the weekend.
Yeah.
Fez?
Yeah, I went, it's Tartan Week in New York City.
Oh, by the way, the performance will be on Pal Talk as well. And Fez is the world's newest pal talker. Now, you, Fez, tartan this week is what? You're a tartan?
Well, I'm not a tartan, but I'm Scottish. My grandmother came from Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So it's supposed to be all things Scotland this week in New York. So I figured I'd go to Grand Central.
And if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Exactly. So I figured I'd go down to Grand Central Station. They had the Scottish Village there. And I figured, all right, there's going to be some Scottish people hanging around.
All right, I don't understand what you're talking about. This is like you guys don't have a parade in New York.
A part of Tartan Week is a parade, but it's like, it must be the shortest parade they have in New York City. I think it goes 10 streets. That is it.
Where at?
It's on 6th Avenue. I think it goes like from 45th to 55th, and that is it.
I never even heard of this before.
Yeah, so it goes down the Avenue of the Americas. I go to this Scottish village just to check out maybe some authentic Scottish things, explore my heritage a little bit. I get there. What a load of crap. What a bunch of junk. It was maybe like 6 or 7 booths where I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking, I think, well, maybe, there's some Scottish stuff, for my family here or something. No, it's just stuff like Continental Airlines was all set up so that you could book trips to Scotland. There was like barely any, and everyone in the booth, no one has a Scottish accent. This thing, there was one booth that was trying to sell scotch, and then there's some other people, they're doing like hand-woven hats that they're selling. They weren't even Scottish, so the hats can't be Scottish. Maybe they knit things in Scotland. That would be about the only thing that was even close. So it was just a huge disappointment. I'm going, why are we having a whole tartan week for this? It was like a 3rd grade book report, and I walked in it. They were like scrambling to try to...
Why don't you get involved in this for next year? I didn't know you had Scottish pride. I never knew Scottish people were those type of people that have pride. And I got news for you. I prefer the people who don't make a big deal about their background. I like the fact that English people don't seem to really care. Do you never hear English people going, oh, England's better, or, hey, don't mess with me, I'm English. They just are. And I thought like Scottish people, Welsh people, basically the Britons, Fez, really didn't care about showing off so much.
Yeah, I guess not, because there was nothing to show off at this thing.
There's some places that care. Ireland makes a big deal out of where they come from. Italy makes a big deal. You don't hear Spain going crazy.
No.
And yet, Puerto Rico goes nuts. The Dominican, they go crazy for themselves. Jamaica, some amount. But Barbados, nothing. You will never hear people from Barbados bragging about being from Barbados.
It's very weird. The Australians, I don't think they brag very much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
They do. The Australians, and then even worse than them are the New Zealanders, the Kiwis, who live right next door. But the Aussies always do that, oi, 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 Aussie,
right.
Every time I go out somewhere. And, of course, they're always ready to headbutt. They're ready to throw down.
Yeah, you mentioned the New Zealand. Why are you so proud calling yourself the Kiwi?
They love themselves. Wherever you go, that little area will be bragging. You don't hear a great deal from any of the folks from Central America. Central America, they play keep it all close to the vest. What do they care?
But a Cuban will brag.
Cubans brag quite a bit. Guys from Germans, they have a tendency to brag, not too much. Feels like we've knocked the stuffings out of them. Polish people can't shut their traps. They all the time. Oh, their music, which is awful, and their food, again, awful, and yet how proud they are.
You never hear anything from the Dutch. The Dutch never really
stay low. Yeah. They stay low with it.
They always seem to just keep it low-key. And
the Dutch are great. They have basically a language they're ashamed of. So their language sounds like you got a chicken bone in your throat. So they will keep it down a little bit. Here is Christopher. Christopher, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, guys, great show. I got a question for Fezzy. Would a born-again tartan be considered a retardant?
It really does seem that way. 866-3133-FREE, 866-3133-FREE. Now, Jewish people can't stop. They love bringing up being Jewish. And with them, because they're always worried about anti-Semitic. But how many times will you go to a Jewish friend? Hey, we're going skiing this weekend. I don't ski. I'm a Jew. They will always use that background. Hey, can you help me move? I'm a Jew. We don't help people move. They always throw that out there, and you're like, none of these seem to be 100%. Joseph, you're on Ron and Fez.
Don't mess with Texans, man. They never brag.
See, that's a good thing. It seems like, particularly with states, people that brag the most have the least. There's the least amount of things. So that's why I think the Irish brag and the English don't. The English have beaten Ireland for like 2,800 years. So who's the one you think doing all the bragging? The Irish. It really doesn't make much sense. Craig, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, Polish food is killer. Coming up is Easter. They doing Easter to make you die.
Polish food is German food, only stupider. So there's no reason to act like it's good. You eat it if you're starving. No other reason. Rich, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ron. You said that people from Barbados don't brag much about their background.
Yeah.
Well, you ever go to the West Indian Day Parade?
All right, now that's an interesting one. The West Indian Day Parade, Fezzy, is like so many different of those islands thrown together, where no one island has their own day.
All right, so then, no, that's not a lot of pride there. You would work for a Barbados parade.
Well, they don't have, country pride. They have more, area pride. They're proud of their latitude. Their latitude is something. Eric, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron, hey, Fez.
Yeah.
I'm a Jewish guy, and we can't drive stick shift.
See, they will say that. But if you say on the show, Jews can't drive stick shift, someone will be mad at you. And yet Jewish guys always want to throw that out there.
It's very weird. It's self-deprecating pride.
Well, in a way, it's almost saying we're too good. We don't lower ourselves to your menial tasks. Nick, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, it's Nick.
Yeah, that's why I said your name.
Great show.
Yeah, it is.
I'm on the Greeks.
Greeks, a lot of pride there. A lot of pride with the Greeks.
Oh, you got to go to our weddings. We have the best weddings, everything like that.
They do have great weddings. I don't know what it is. And there's something about those Greek girls, I'm not going to lie to you. There's also something about those Jewish girls, black girls, Asian girls. They're all pretty damn fantastic. Christopher, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yes, American people are the most proudest people they have. Wherever they go, they want to be recognized as the Americans.
I know. American people have pride to the point of being obnoxious, where we will wave a flag back at each other.
Right.
We will bring an American flag to anything, wave it back and forth, and then somehow, even when we travel around the world, we go, wait, I'm an American. You don't understand.
You don't even ask them. They say they're Americans.
Yeah. So, you don't have, they're like this. Yes, I am an American. I'd like to get a table. At some point, they act like they're the CEOs of the world.
Exactly.
Very, very annoying. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
I went to Shea a couple years ago. Pedro's pitching. I thought I was in the Olympics. Everyone had a Dominican flag but me. I'm waving my little Met finger.
Well, when he was with the Sox, I saw so many people from the Bronx turn on their beloved Yankees and got behind Pedro. And these people go, and I'm sitting next to them, and they're like, we always root the Yankees except for when Pedro pitches. They are crazy about him. The other thing is, you ever notice this? Dominican women, you say something, they'll go like this. I'm a Dominican and I will whip your ass. They always use that up to the fact that they are going to knock you out. They love throwing that out there. David, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, my wife's Dutch from Holland, and they're all proud over there. But boy, they got the worst food. You can't understand a thing they say.
Yeah.
And a bunch of funny people they are.
Yeah, they are. They're very, very strange folk. They live basically under the sea like fish. Somehow, the only thing that keeps them free is now being able to to having a dike. Other than that, they're swimming. Nick, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey there, Ronnie and Fezzy. Great
Yeah.
show, guys.
Yeah.
What about Canadians?
Canadians play it down low. Canadians are the first to apologize. They will apologize even when they're in Canada. Nicest people ever. Not a lot of personality. Not a lot of excitement. A lot of heavy drinking, though.
No, you want to be under the radar if you're a Canadian. You kind of, that way, any sort of world event comes up or something like that, you just kind of go with the flow. People don't realize. They don't even ask an opinion.
But why is it? They're almost like they're in an entire nation of Midwesterners. They really just don't want a problem. And I guess the English are somewhat like that. The English are always like, okay, don't worry, I'll be okay here. You can run them over in a car. But you'd think the English would be waving their flags a lot more than the Irish.
Maybe it's because the empire just isn't as big as it used to be.
Like they've been shamed?
Yeah, where it's kind of taking a little bit of the steam out of their ruffles.
Steam out of their ruffles. Here is James. James, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Ever speak to a Brazilian girl?
Love
they
it.
love to brag about their beautiful little asses.
They will actually say, look at my Brazilian ass. Not just, don't I have a great ass? They will say to you, don't I have a great Brazilian ass? Brazilians, very proud people. And also from down that way, Argentinians, very proud people.
Yeah, I don't know if you get much else bragging out of South America.
Yeah, you're right about that. I don't hear it from the other folks.
From the other coast.
But I had friends from Argentina, and they're like, we're like a European country in South America. Believe me, we're nothing like those Indians. They would call everybody else Indians and themselves European. Always crazy. Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
I'm married to an Armenian woman, and they have excellent cooking, and they're very proud people.
Armenians are incredibly proud. Armenians will always tell you that they're Armenian, and for some reason, all their names rhyme with Armenian. I don't understand it, but everything has that in at the end of it. Jason, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans are like the most proud people.
Puerto Ricans are incredibly proud. By far the biggest parade. By far the biggest parade. And incredibly hot chicks. You can't take that away from them.
I think
I go to a Mets game just to root against Pedro.
Sure. Here's Troy. Troy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yes. You ever spoke to a Guyanese Indian?
From where, Ghana?
From Guyana.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Good. When you talk to them, they want to sound like they're from Trinidad, or they're from Jamaica, or they're from India. They never want to accept that they're Guyanese.
Oh, so they're actually somewhat like embarrassed from where they're from?
Yeah, they're embarrassed from where they're from. They don't want to identify themselves as Guyanese.
Now, is that where Left Eye died? I always get really confused.
She was Costa Rica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought she was like French Guiana.
No, Guyana.
Maybe I'm thinking of Jonestown. It all starts to run together for me. Costa Ricans, you never hear nothing about them. They'll
No.
never bring it up.
You know-
Japanese, very quiet people. Chinese can't shut up. They got a dragon going down the street. Oh, do they love their fake New Year? Happy fake New Year, they'll yell.
Hey, I don't see a lot of those Koreans either. They're very
What
good.
about the Korean market?
Nah.
You're in Queens. Queens is now called Little Korea.
But I have a friend who's really, it's very strange, a couple of friends who are very proud to be Swedish. My friend Mike Olson is like, and it seems like he's just faking it. And like that, you know, when St. Patrick's Day comes out, he brings out his Swedish flags.
Is it because of the Viking thing in the back?
I think so, yeah. You know, it's like my friend Mike, Lucci, she's Swedish.
Lucci?
You know, yeah.
Oh, what a maniac she is.
Yeah.
She may be the loudest Swede ever. Oh, is she a screamer?
Very, very noisy. Very crazy.
And almost did something horrible with Sheepy. Well, believe me, his little body is not ready. Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys. I want to know why Jewish people have no pride in their nationality. Because when you ask them what's a nationality, they always say Jewish. It's not even a nationality. I don't
Well,
get it.
ask him if one of them is against Israel, because I haven't met one yet. Here's Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yo,
Yeah.
Lebanese girls, they're kind of hot.
Yeah.
So they're either dog ugly or they're hot as hell.
All right, that's not the conversation we're having here. Fez comes from people that you're embarrassed, Fezzy, in a city that supports where we came from. Your people, the Scots, laid an egg for you.
Just humiliating Tartan Week. It was basically some travel brochures and someone wearing a kilt. That was all we got.
Why don't you do this, Fezzy? Why don't you wear a kilt? I've never seen you in one.
Yeah, I gotta have some more support than just a wraparound kilt.
It's a pair of underwear. What support are you getting? You're allowed to wear underwear, can't you?
You're not supposed to.
Why don't you just put on a little pair of short shorts underneath there? I don't want you with those old man nads of yours flopping down. Here's Sunil. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, this is Sunil. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from India. What do you think about Indian people?
I think I normally hear them not bragging too much. I think their thing is they're so embarrassed how many of them have starved that they don't like to bring it up.
Yeah, any sort of tragedy is going to take some wind out of your sails.
Here's Johnny. Johnny, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Buddies,
Yeah.
the British are just laying low here ever since the revolution. It's like if your wife divorces you and you're still living in her house, you're not
Right.
really going to bring it up too much, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. The British probably wonder what we're up to.
They should.
Yeah.
We taught them a lesson or two.
So she's Swedish, is she?
Yeah, she's part Swedish, and then
is she a screamer?
Very strange. And she claims also to be part Jamaican, but you notice she doesn't brag about that as much as she does with the Swedish.
Just goes with the Nordic angle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Why
she's
wouldn't you?
vocal about. Very aggressive woman.
No, Sierra, she's Dominican. She'll kill you with toenail clippers. This is the way they are. Catherine, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi there. I just think you're so wrong about the Japanese. They're so xenophobic. If you've ever been to Japan, they think if you do anything like you put on chapstick and they go, "Oh, you use chapstick? Oh, like I felt like saying we invented chapstick. Like everything. They just think that I don't know. They think that the world began and ended with them.
They're out of their minds. Those tiny little people.
I can't wait to start using some chapstick in front of Japanese people now.
I bet they don't say anything. Any of the ones I meet in New York, they couldn't be nicer.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, do they love their little pictures.
They think they're very hip. I totally agree. They're the new hipsters. If you notice,
Yeah.
whenever you see the skateboarders, the kids with the underground rock, it's the Japanese.
Yeah, but the thing is, they love American culture more than anyone. They love our movies. They love our music. They love everything about us. Damien, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Ronnie, how about the Italians, boss?
They love themselves. The Italians are crazy about Italians. They love it. Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah.
All these people that are bragging about how great their countries are, they're all here doing it.
Well, I mean, if you look at Fez, he's trying to say he's Scottish. He's going back at least a couple generations on one side. How long your people been in this country, Dave?
Since about 1903.
So, over 100 years.
Yeah.
You never shut up about Ireland.
Yeah.
You act like you got off the boat yesterday.
That's right.
That's the problem with you. You act like you actually had to dive off the boat and swam halfway.
What's Ireland? I call it the home country.
Yeah.
I call it the homeland.
Mark, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's the deal with Albanians being proud of where they're from?
Again, let's take it back to Texas. If you were a Texan, why would you be proud of that dirt ranch that they have down there? But basically, out of all the states, they're the proudest. Nobody yells as much as you don't hear people from California. Oh, we're from California. They could care less. People from Colorado stay cool. But where do people brag the most? Alabama. We want the panhandle back. Take it. Looks like you. Mississippi, they brag. Anywhere down south, they brag.
Your Dakotas. They're a big brag. Absolutely.
They don't brag.
Absolutely.
No,
if they say one more Mount Rushmore,
and I
I'm
also
done.
think you're wrong about Lucci, too. I don't think she's Swedish and Jamaican.
She is.
I think that's a lie.
It's not. I have it on very good authority.
I will say this, though. Always had a loud woman. Oh, was she a screamer? And she almost, honestly, it's close to the rape, what she did with that boy, the way she dove on top of him. And, he looked at me, he had tears in his eyes, that little sheepy. And he goes, I shan't be back, he said. He goes, when I leave here, I shan't be back. And he took off into the night. You know what I did? I stood there and I yelled, Sheepy! He wouldn't turn around. I think I yelled it like 4 times. So that was the only problem at the party. And then Happy Typing Girl telling Tian, do not come. You're not wanted here.
What?
Happy Typing Girl wanted to take on all the excitement and get all the groove for giving Fez that overpriced present.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have told Tian to stay home. I don't care for that.
What did they give you, Fez?
I got a $250 gift certificate to a steakhouse.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why?
That's too much to take from those girls.
They loved me. They wanted to give it to me.
All right, who was all involved in that?
Well, Tian was part of that.
Was she? Then why wasn't she invited?
Well, that's just logistics there and politics with Happy Typing Girl, who also gave it to me. Let's see. Casey Elon, Dave's girlfriend, was on that.
How much? $5?
She contributed.
How much?
Some more than others. It's like, hey, whatever.
I want to know. Why don't you just jump in for that then?
They all gave. She gave too.
All right, who
Numbers.
else?
And then I think there was 1 or 2 other names that's escaping me right now. Still kind of foggy from all the drinking.
But you notice how he always remembers HTG. HTG.
Yep.
I want you to do something right, Fezzy. I want you to give that back to those girls. Maybe, you know what would be nice? Another night out for you and Casey.
Yes! Thank you.
I am not giving it to Eastside Dave.
I love Fez's birthday.
Who are you going to take with you there to this place?
I haven't decided yet. But I was going to, my thought was to just go myself, but twice.
I know. Right back, Ron and Fez.
Ephedra is gone. It's off the shelves. You can't find it anymore. But if you want that energy boost, all you have to do is pick up a bottle of I-57 Ignite. I-57 Ignite with shot of Bougray.
Fez, I took some I-57 Ignite. Did not even use the elevator to get here. Jumped. I leaped in a way that I can only say the $6 million man can leap. I jumped, but very slowly, almost in slow motion. I-57 Ignite has done something for me that I could not believe, and that's made me disregard gravities and the rules that mere mortals live by.
That's the shot of Bougray, the all-natural Brazilian herb in I-57 Ignite. It's better than Ephedra, and now you can pick it up at all local CVS pharmacies.
And if your erection lasts more than 4 hours, consult a physician.
That's something different.
Well, I'm not saying it has to do anything with I-57, Fezzy. It doesn't. But occasionally I like to point out to people, you don't want to be walking around like that for 4 hours. You better let your doctor know, because what's going on?
You can try a free bottle of I-57 Ignite now by calling 877-I-57-DIET. That phone number is 877-I-57-DIET. You can also get it online at myi57.com.
I-57, Fezzy, I-57 Ignite. Take one and then watch the world change around you. It almost is like the Matrix, where you take the red pill or the blue pill. You know what I do, bro?
What?
Pop them both in, figure I'd taken a purple. Double dose. That was my motto, Fez. I got to double down. I double dose. That's probably what put me in the problem that I ended up having. Right now, I can't even have a beer with my buddies without going, is everything going to fall apart?
The number is 877-I-57-DIET. No Ephedra? No problem. Now there's I-57 Ignite.
I-57 Ignite. They claim that's what James Earl Ray took. I-57 23 Free FM. Nick Carter coming up after us tonight. And tomorrow night, Fezzy, the New Kids.
Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow.
Jiven is making the scene, and that's going to be tomorrow night or next week?
I believe it's next week, CT and Jiven.
Oh, see, I am just too pumped up. I am just too ready for CT and Jiven to make the scene. Maybe we should even invite them in sometime during this week before their night. Because I'd like to let people get to know them. Of course, Jiven used to work with us at NEW, and runs the dump button for us now. We are all wrapped in so closely together, so incestuous that it's unbelievable. Jiven used to date Lily. Then he went from Lily to Tenacious C. Well, you were with Tenacious C first, right?
Yeah. Second time around on that one.
Yeah, first it was our Wonder Boy, our old producer. He used to date her. Then you dated her, broke up with her, went out with Lily, who's our now intern, broke back up with Lily, and now you're back with Tenacious C.
Yeah, it's a scene.
Everyone slept with each other. It's like you slept with Wonder Boy.
In a way, you know what, Fezzy, that goes to show. Everybody is connected one way or another. This is a very big break for you guys, though, Jeff, and I'm very excited for you.
I know. I just, really want to thank, especially your listeners now. I mean,
I know. They're
a lot
gonna
of
have to get
support.
behind you, yeah.
I figure we're going to, maybe if we're lucky, we'll be like Fish to your Grateful Dead or something like that.
You know what? You go ahead and do it. You be the reef to the reef. Because I'll tell you right now, the reef is so far away from the island. It's nutty. But you go ahead and do it. I want everybody from ronfez.net to get behind you guys. So it's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday night, following you guys 9 to midnight.
Right. That's big, man.
Oh.
That's a big one.
I'm dying right now. I don't even know what to do.
I'm hoping by then, one of you guys, CT, have a girlfriend?
No.
I like to see him with Lucci. I like for her to go from Sheepy to CT. And off we go. Speaking of which, of who's dating who, look who it is. It's Hot Liz. Hello, Liz.
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Fezzy.
What do you say, darling?
Nothing. I missed it last week. I called to wish Fezzy a happy belated birthday.
Oh, was he drunk Friday? Oh, my God.
Was he?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah, this show barely ended Friday. He was doing some kind of karate moves, I don't know, martial arts, without even talking. He stopped talking in the last 10 minutes and just pretended he was chopping at people.
I'm so annoyed with myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hot Liz. I appreciate that. See, I'm sober tonight. I'll remember you calling now.
No.
All right. All right. That's great. Thanks, Fezzy.
Thanks, Frenchie.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. No, I wasn't talking to you, Liz. I was talking to Frenchie, who just went out of her way.
Fezzy, you were rubbing my head Friday night like
boy.
I was a genie bottle.
Yeah.
Just
Fezzy was...
I like your haircut.
Huggy and rubby.
Very.
Well,
Yeah.
not with any of the girls, but with the guys, he was unbelievably comfortable with. Personally, I had to keep an eye on Sheepy. I had to actually say to Sheepy, please, go, get out. I thought something awful was going to happen to him.
John Travolta, he's being attacked by environmental groups now for lecturing about global warming while still owning 5 private jets.
None of that bothers me, Fez, the 5 private jets. What I love from the story, and what I think is the lead, is he said, hey, it's time we start looking into other planets and dome cities. What are you talking about, you crazy bastard? First of all, you make wild hogs, and somehow it makes money. Now you're going, yeah, I'm worried about global warming. We need a dome city. Who has ever said a dome city is going to help us?
Well, when he says...
And you know what? We couldn't even make the Superdome work. That tore up in... now it's going to be a dome city.
When he says we need to look toward other planets, the way he's saying it sounds like we need to see what these other planets are doing about their global warming and maybe use some of their ideas.
He wants us to move to other planets. All right, you turn around. What's in better shape right now? Earth or Mars? What do you feel better is a better fixer-upper? No matter how bad we've treated Earth, I still think we've got a better chance of pulling this thing back together than we do of going to Mars or Venus. Oh, you crazy John Travolta. He's one of those Scientologists. That's what you were thinking about joining, Fez?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about that.
What are you waiting for?
I just haven't gotten down there yet.
Why don't you go tomorrow between the shows?
All right, yeah. I mean, I want to check into it. I'm just afraid of it.
Tomorrow between the shows. You've been talking about this for how many years now?
Good couple.
Yeah, it's really gotten to be a bit that needs a payoff. If they let you back out, first of all, I'll never stop laughing. But if they don't, if you end up, you'll be in Clearwater, not far from your mom's house, walking around.
See, it's the let you back out part that has me a little wary of it.
Look at Tom Cruise. Look how well he's doing. I like to see you looking like Tom Cruise. John Travolta. I think Beck is a Scientologist.
You know, in this article, they kept saying John Travolta, a Scientologist, feels that blah, blah, blah. No one else gets that. No other religion gets it. Where you hear this person, a Lutheran.
Yeah, that is kind of true. Well, because mainly the other religions follow something that's kind of based in the same area. Where John Travolta is brand new and from outer space. No one else really, none of the other religions will ever go, an alien came here and helped us out a little bit.
I'd love to know what planet he wants us to go to.
Yeah.
Something much cooler. One of those outer planets. Maybe a moon around Jupiter or Saturn. Something like that. That where we have no problem with global warming.
Here is Liz. Liz, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi. Fezzy, please do not go into Scientology. Please do not do it. We've had a couple friends that have gone into it, and they have not come back out the same, and they're still in it.
That's what Fezzy needs to do.
Well, I
Not
definitely.
come out the same.
Yeah, I don't want to come out the same me going in.
No, you know, it really is a form of brainwashing.
He needs his brain washed. His brain is dirty and corroded.
Well, aside from that, you know, it's just a scary cult. Again, like our friends who have gone in have not come out the same.
Well, what changed about him?
I'm sorry?
What changed about him? That's so distressing.
Basically, they became, it's almost like their personalities just dropped. They were, you know, it's almost like they became somewhat robotic, you know, in a sense, not like sci-fi, but it's one of those things where, you know, the humor, the personality is just completely
My name is
void.
Fez. I am a stabbing robot. I am a stabbing robot.
I don't know if anyone can
You know,
convince me to kill.
Anyone who's outside of Scientology is considered, almost poison or almost evil because
primitive.
They're afraid, yeah, well, they're afraid that it's once they've got you in there, and plus it costs them a lot of money.
He's got a lot of money. First of all,
Well-
trade in that $250 you got from the Pal Talk girls.
Will you accept this Scientology?
You know they will. They'll be eating steak that night. Liz?
Yes.
Don't be a hater. Fez has got a brand new religion.
All right. Well, whatever works for you, guys.
All right, bye.
Oh, the intolerance.
Earl, why don't you go with them and you join too?
Come with me, Earl.
I'm a Baptist. I have no interest at all in joining Scientology.
You'll be a Scientologist Baptist.
You can't combine the two.
Yeah. Let me tell you about another Baptist, L. Ron Hubbard. Look at him. He ended up doing great. He got his own religion.
Isn't he dead?
Nicolas Cage, he has signed on to do National Treasure 2.
Oh, am I excited. You know, the one thing I thought as I was hitting reject on the DVD halfway through National Treasure 2, I called Netflix and said, you're not getting this back. They go, why? I go, somebody else could see it. And I was chucking it into the East River. I go, I can't wait for the next one.
So, yeah, why National Treasure 2? Wasn't this a bomb at the box office? I never remember it being that big a deal. That, you know, even for money-wise.
Look it up for us, Dave. We'll just see how much money the first National Treasure made. If you look it up on Box Office Mojo, no problem at all there. Give it to us a couple minutes. I don't know. It was a summer film, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they think there's, people like all that that stupidity of, Frenchie, what are you up to tonight? Ridiculous. I'm trying to do a show here. Hey, Rich. Rich, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, how's it going, guys? First time caller.
Yeah.
I was checking out Scientology on the internet. Well, first off, it was created by some science fiction writer. But anyway, it's not really considered a religion. It's more of a tool to kind of like better yourself in whatever it is that, you want to be better at. You could become like a better Catholic with Scientology, I guess. It shows you like a method of how to, go about things methodically, I guess you could say.
All right, thank you very much. Fezzy, you asked if National Treasure was a bomb.
Yeah.
Try out these numbers. 173 million domestic, 347 million worldwide.
I had no idea.
Big major hit.
That it was that big of a deal.
Big major hit. And where else is this Nick Cage going to go?
Well, I'm sure there'll be Ghost Rider, too.
You're probably right about that. You may be very, very right about that.
I think it was Weekend at Bernie's, too, where I decided there's some movies that just don't need a sequel.
Here is Steve. Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Buddies!
Yeah.
Hey, guys. The reason why National Treasure is doing a sequel, or they're making a sequel, actually, is because it did better box office-wise overseas than it did over here in America.
Yeah, it did a hell of a lot of money around the world.
Did it?
People around the world love those action movies. So it makes you think they're stupider than we are.
I know NBC, as soon as this movie came out, then NBC, not long after, had a reality show, which was basically National Treasure. And I don't even think that thing made it all the way through its run. I don't even know if they picked a winner on it.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I don't even remember it. Larry, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Fez, what's Luther Vandross going to think if you join Scientology?
I don't worship Luther Vandross.
I thought you did. I thought you were a Lutheran.
I'm a Lutheran, but we don't worship Luther Vandross. It's God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit.
Seems stupid to call it Lutheran, then, unless you're really getting behind the guy.
Well, it was based on Martin Luther. He started the church.
Oh, Martin Luther King Jr.
No.
I heard about him. Oh, maybe your people are black then, like Earl.
No, it's just regular Martin Luther.
Earl, isn't that your Jesus, Martin Luther King Jr.?
No, our Jesus is Jesus.
All right, someone likes Martin Luther King Jr. I don't know who it is.
Well, I think we all like him. I don't know if anyone worships him.
Hey, Vinny, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I just don't understand. For a second National Treasure, if that's supposed to be the treasure of all treasures, how can they make a sequel?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going after this time. Unless they're trying to, there's another treasure we didn't know about. But you would think they had so much treasure from the first one that there really isn't anything left to look for.
I honestly didn't make it to the end of it. I thought it was just hideous.
Britney Spears, she was named the most unhealthy celebrity. That was by Lime.com. It's a healthy living website.
Well, her hair looks great. You can't take that away from her.
Lindsay Lohan was second, followed by Eminem. That was the top 3 unhealthy celebrities. Now, how do you do that and not put John Goodman in? John Goodman is not a healthy-looking celebrity.
Eastside Dave, what's happening with you, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just here.
You showed me this documentary called Cheeks.
Yes.
That had your friend grew up in a house that the parents were somewhat insane.
Yeah.
And this was a buddy of yours?
Yeah, my friend Joe Cheek, a brilliant musician, a keyboardist of mine. He was in my band.
What do you mean of yours?
Well, he was in my band, Mr.
You were the drummer.
I
never heard the drummer say, "This is my keyboard."
I sang lead vocals. I was the band
Who are you,
leader.
Levon Helm?
That's why I look up to him so much.
Yeah.
And I wrote the lyrics. We definitely had a McCartney.
What was your big hit?
That would be Bunsen.
Sing me a little bit of Bunsen.
Bunsen, I saw you walking. I saw you talking with Mrs. Nanny. You said, "Can we and Beaker sleep over tonight?" She said, "Sure, son, little Bunsen."
All right,
okay.
Now let me apologize. I had no idea. You guys are phenomenal. I had no idea you guys were that great.
You didn't hear the backing music of the song.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
I got the raw, perfect thing of Bunsen, the big hit.
It was, and again, a lot of confusion about that. That was not named after the Bunsen burner, but rather Bunsen from the Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I had a feeling when I heard you bring up the other characters.
Okay, I
from
just
that
wanted.
show.
All right, just wanted to make sure. But anyway, Cheeker was. We called him Cheeker. He was the keyboardist in Guys with Ears. Really talented guy, but there was always, he was always a little bit weird, a little bit of an outsider. And his parents were
weird compared to you.
Compared to me,
that had to be really weird.
Right, and it was because his parents just out there.
No,
really.
you were telling me today. You were complaining that your parents are moving Easter up a day. They are moving Easter up to Saturday before Jesus rose, and they're doing it extra early.
Yeah, they're moving it up to Saturday, and I said, "Why? What's going on? Is there an emergency? Did something happen?" They're moving it up to Saturday to go see the Yankees game on Sunday. That's great priorities.
This country, we in the Ten Commandments, it's about let's keep the Sabbath holy.
Yeah.
We're now, not even Easter. Not even Easter slows the Yankees down from playing. Why do we act like, let's put up the 10 Commandments in school when obviously none of us follow these 10 Commandments?
And not only that, not even a slight thought to be religious and be with the family in my mom's brain. When I asked her, I go, so we're not gonna be having...
Sing me a little more Bunsen.
Bunsen, Bunsen, I saw you walking, I saw you talking to Mrs. Nanny. You said, can we and we could sleep over tonight? She said, sure, son, little Bunsen.
Did you guys make a CD?
Okay.
Did you make a CD?
We made a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. For
sure.
real.
Sounds like it.
I'm telling you.
What are some of the other hits on there?
Sunglasses at Night was a great one.
Oh, you cover?
I could give you... No.
It was different than...
I had never heard the original Sunglasses
Tell
at
me
Night.
you're not lying. Tell me you're lying.
I'm not lying. I had never heard of the original, so I had my own Sunglasses at Night song.
All right, let's hear your version.
Oh, this is much better
than
the original. We wear sunglasses at night. Bum, bum, bum. It may not be that bright. Bum, bum, bum. We like to hear the doggy go bite. And we wear...
Fez, you were bringing up sequels you never thought would be made. And I was thinking about this during the break. Dirty Dancing Havana Nights may have been the stupidest... It's a sequel without anyone from the original movie in it. Yeah. I never expected to see that one made. Here's another one. You take a movie as horrible as The Whole 9 Yards, and what are you looking for? The Whole 10 Yards, which, as you're watching this on cable, you are thinking to yourself, I'd rather even be watching that first horrible movie, The Whole 9 Yards. 866-313-FREE, 866-313-FREE. What about you, Earl? Any sequel that ever really shocked you?
Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Again, what did it even have to do with anything?
I mean, I've saw that in a theater when I was a kid, and everyone was walking out going, I mean, what just happened over the last hour and 45 minutes? And it had absolutely zero to do with the original, save for Linda Blair, who was a little bit older, but I don't even know what the plot was. I couldn't explain to you what the plot was.
And they do this time and time again now. Now, Dave, I know you are somewhat of a fan, but I thought Godfather 3 was just about blasphemy.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's underrated. I actually think it's a good film. It obviously doesn't compare to the first two.
Then why do it? You need to be right there with the first two. Chris, you're in the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, buddies, here's a couple sequels that never should have been made. Roadhouse 2, Last Call.
Again, you make a piece of crap like Roadhouse. Why would you go out of your way to do this?
But it's the last call, so hopefully it'll be the last one, you know?
Yeah, but I think they drank pretty late in the first one. By the way, I think Showtime is showing a thing that they're doing a sequel to Debbie Loves Dallas. They're that far along. And they do this all the time in porns. They get a hold of a name and they won't stop.
I saw that. It's a reality show about that.
Yeah.
It's quite bad.
They go into the 20s and 30s with their sequel numbers.
Yeah.
Dan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys? Halloween 3.
You didn't even mind the first Halloween. I mean, the second Halloween. It's 3 that made you think, I can't watch this anymore. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I just watched this earlier today, actually. Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2. Let's do this again without Bill Murray and Rodney. What the hell are you thinking?
Everyone. I mean, and yeah, they get rid of Billy, put in Dan Aykroyd, Jackie Mason to stand in.
Did you ever notice that the Meatballs went on for a long time, and I don't even think they were released to theaters?
Yeah, I think it was like 4 of them.
Yeah, and at one there was a ripoff of E.T. in it. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Ocean's 12, and I got another one, Porky's 2.
I'm going to tell you this. I somewhat disagree on the Ocean's 12. I am a fan of the Ocean Boys.
Ocean's 12 is funny.
Yeah.
The ending
Matt Damon
falls apart.
kills me.
Yeah.
Matt Damon, but the thing that he does with his mother?
Yeah.
About, oh, no, you didn't tell Dad. I was literally laughing at that. Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, how about American Werewolf in Paris?
But, at least some of these were good movies they started on. When you decide I need to make a sequel to Mannequin, you are out of your mind.
Or like a Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Such a bad film, dopey, just
right.
They basically ripped off Clueless, and how they ever got to make Legally Blonde 2 is beyond me.
One of Debbie's favorite movies is Grease 2. She sits around, she says it's a better film, and she's always reproduction. She's singing those. If you try to sing like the Grease things,
yeah,
she brings up Grease 2 like that movie's any good. She's going to howl like a T-bird. It's really, really bad, in my opinion.
She doesn't have good taste.
She doesn't have good taste when it comes to Grease films, no.
She doesn't have the Mike Kaka taste.
Well, I don't know whether she has it or not. I would have to, literally get in there and check.
Right.
Here's Kevin. Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I'm talking about the classic collection of Karate Kid 1 through 3, and then in 4 they come out, no Ralph Macchio, but they got Hilary Swank.
And if anyone would have said to you, this little tomboy in Karate Kid 4 will win 2 awards, you would have hung yourself before you would have believed it. You would say, I will bet reproduction. These are not good songs.
I was halfway through that.
Where does the pollen go? Awful, these songs. She loves them.
I was halfway through that Karate Kid 4 before I realized it wasn't Ralph Macchio. And why did you need a second and third problem child? We know the kid's bad. We know the movie's bad.
Billy, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, I'm wondering why they made a second Speed 2.
Speed 2, no Keanu Reeves, and that one had, instead of a runaway bus, it was a very slow runaway ocean liner. Now, normally you would think you could go pretty far in the ocean before you run into problems. No, not Speed 2. Yeah. By the way, they're going to score tonight. I really, the bowling song from Grease 2. Really not a big fan. Randy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Big ass 307 butt ass.
Oh, how you doing, buddy?
Staying Alive was the worst sequel ever.
Yeah.
Tony Manero should have jumped off the bridge in the first movie.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. You would not take a guy who disco dances. You would think, okay, what's next for him? Is he going to become, a male dancer at, parties? What ways could he go? He's never going to take that skill to Broadway, which is a totally different type of dancing. It's insane. Then at one point, his eye is bleeding because the girl scratched him, and they're yelling, "It's a war out there." How could it be a war? It's a Broadway play. She needs a writer that's cool. She wants a cool writer, a writer that's cool, which is really just a little English boy. Hey, it's Mike the teacher.
Hey, Ron, how you doing? I didn't know that this one was a sequel till a couple of years ago. I was checking out the DVD rack.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of rack.
And I see more American Graffiti, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And, yeah, American Graffiti had a sequel.
American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas, too, I think, came out about 10 years after the first one, about 82. And he did it in like a real wood. You never saw this, Dave?
No.
He did it in a real wood style. Maybe it was produced by him.
Okay.
But he did it in a real wood stock style. So there's like 4 screens going at the same time.
Yeah, they got everybody back except for Dreyfus, and it's Vietnam era. Came out in '79.
Horrible. Yeah.
And what really bugs me is that I don't know if you remember, at the end of American Graffiti, the first one, they do that what eventually happened to each guy.
Right.
And I love that first film.
Oh, yeah. That was the first of any of those kinds of endings where they would put up, this happened to each person. Yeah. As far as I know, I've never found a film, because I got curious about that before. Yeah. Has anyone ever done that before or since? Well, since a million people, where they'll do Dave went on to become president of the United States, and then everyone laughs and Earl was killed moments after this scene. And then, you're supposed to feel sad.
Wasn't John Milner? John Milner was killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
Kurt went on to be a writer in Canada, and then Ron Howard and Cindy Williams married and got divorced.
Yeah, you had the one guy getting killed in Vietnam.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So it was,
Charles
somewhat.
Martin Smith,
Yeah.
Terry the Toad Fields. He got killed in Vietnam.
Thank you very much, Mike the teacher. Real good one, kind of obscure. Have you guys ever seen, and these always kind of annoy me a little bit, the prequel to Sundance and Butch Cassidy?
No.
Yeah, they use The Greatest American Hero, and then the guy from The Big Chill, I forget his name right now, who was also in Platoon, Tom
Berenger.
Tom Berenger, yeah. He played the Paul Newman part. They're actually not too bad.
Really?
You need to go back and see how good these guys were of playing, this whole thing. Bernie, you're on Ron and Fez.
The worst sequel ever has to be Blues Brothers 2000.
Yeah. I despise that. The only thing I like is when the Blues Brothers do the song Cool Rider. I want a cool rider. Poor Michelle Pfeiffer. When you look at her entire thing, it's just impossible. It's impossible to think she was going to go on and do well from there. Here's Sean. Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
What can we do for you, my friend?
All right. Oh, well, I got to disagree with you with the Ocean's 12, but they also coming out with Ocean's 13.
In like a week or two.
Andy Garcia's part of the group now.
Yeah.
Could you believe that?
Yeah. But I will say this. I've never seen any of the Danny Ocean movies in a theater. I always wait till they come to HBO. And then I'm like, I like these. These are not so bad.
They're great Friday night movies, those
Yeah.
Ocean's movies.
Yeah. Here is, let me go over here to Steve. Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
What about The Matrix Reloaded?
I will say this. If they would have kept just The Matrix, I might have argued that film is maybe the film of the 90s. I put it up against Pulp Fiction if I had to. But it's so... it blew me away when I first saw it, Dave. I'm not going to lie to you. It was one of those films, I was not ready for it. Where I actually walked outside and went, I need to go back and see this film again. By the time I saw the sequels... I mean, they wrote books about the first one. It was so good.
Yeah.
The philosophy, the whole 9 yards. This time, forget about it. Speaking of which, did you guys bring over those magazines that were sent to me?
I think they're still at the office. We could absolutely get them.
I don't understand. We could absolutely get them. That was the whole point. Instead, Earl brought my cigars, which I didn't even want. Here's Ben. Ben, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
American Psycho 2.
American Psycho 2. Never saw it.
I didn't know they did that one.
Yeah. American Psycho seemed to tell the whole story, and there was only one book.
What about the bad Psycho sequels that came out in was it early 80s? They did a Psycho with the
Psychos, yeah. Not just that one, yeah. Here is Snuggins. Snuggins, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
What's up, buddy?
Two different movies, though.
Yeah, how about Major League 3? Because somehow they all went from the Cleveland Indians to the Minnesota Twins farm system.
Yeah, I don't understand how they all stayed together that way. and they don't care whether you go, this is impossible. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, if you're going to do that vein, then you have to do the Bad News Bears in the Astrodome in Japan.
Right.
All those films, I will only watch the first one. And that includes you, Rocky Balboa. The only watchable Rocky is the first one.
Wow.
The only watchable one.
You don't like number 4? You got some James Brown.
That's the Russian?
Yeah, the Russian.
Ridiculous. It's an embarrassment.
The truck?
It's an embarrassment. And that's where he moved. He left Philly, and he went to L.A. I'm sick from it. Literally sick. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Buddies?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, all three of the Star Wars prequels,
Mm-hmm.
all of them were lousy.
Now, it took me years to get to Fez to this point, but you're finally admitting it now, Fez.
They were just, I did want a minute, but they're just awful. I wanted those things to be classic. I wanted them to be great. My biggest disappointment out of those 3 prequels was the last one, Revenge of the Sith. That was the worst out of the 3 of them. And that barely had Jar Jar Binks in it for 2 seconds.
What was your big problem with that one?
Just the way, because this was supposed to be the big step. Anakin becomes Darth Vader. What does he do? We had always heard in the first 3, Anakin hunts down and kills the Jedis. No, he didn't. The clones did. All Anakin did was kill baby Jedis. This big legend that we had heard of the scourge of the universe, of the galaxy, killed some kids. That was all he did to become Darth Vader. I was so disappointed.
Didn't like it at all then?
No.
See,
I wanted to.
You waited till after the third one before you decided you hated all three.
Yeah, because I'm like,
Gotcha.
I can put up with Jar Jar Binks and the silly little kid if you give me the good transition Anakin to Darth Vader story. And got nothing.
I personally always thought, I think the third, I like that newer Star Wars, the third film, Episode 3. Because
that's your favorite out of all of them?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, you're not going to see Michael Corleone, if he has to have people whacked, he's not going to do it himself. So Darth Vader is the intergalactic Michael Corleone of his time.
Then why tell us that in the first three?
Well, it's just language.
The Han Solo ones.
It's just language. People are going to say, hey, Michael Corleone killed the heads of the Five Family, but he's not going to actually go out and shoot the guns. Darth Vader killed the heads of the Five Families, but he was setting it up.
No, he didn't. He had nothing to do with it.
Well, it's like saying Hitler killed 6 million people.
Right.
That's what he said. That's the way he's taking it.
Exactly.
That he was the leader.
Now, I would accept that if Anakin was in on this plan. No, that was the Emperor doing all that.
But he was bidding the Emperor's beckoning. And as a result,
he knew nothing of the plan.
These movies are all awful, including the first three from the 70s. They're terrible.
The first three?
Yes.
Mr. B, Empire Strikes Back. For
Yes.
real. For no joking.
Yes, it's babyish. It's like watching a Muppet movie.
Empire Strikes Back deals with fathers and sons and relationships and identities. And, no, I'm your father. And lying and heritage. And not to mention,
to me, it deals
sword
more
fight.
with robots and big squishy monsters for children.
I know Episode 3 was bad. Was when after he finds out that his wife is dead, and he's presuming that his kids. You get the obligatory no throughout the gap. I was like,
how bad was she acting in that movie, too? Come on, let's go.
I think she was great. I think she did the job she had to do. Hayden Christensen,
You know who's doing the job right now is you. You have taken money to promote these things.
I'm not.
I'm embarrassed of you.
I will admit to being a card-carrying member of the Lucasfilm fan club, but I do not get paid by George Lucas
There's
whatsoever.
a Lucasfilm fan club?
Yeah, I'm card holder 8719. That's not for that one.
Are you really in that?
I swear to
Then
God.
bring your card. I want to see this card because I think you're a liar.
I'm not lying.
I've never belonged to a club in my life.
It's the only club that I belong to, that and the Writers Guild. Those are my two cards.
Well, the Writers Guild is cool. The other one is just stupid.
Why? What's not so cool about that?
The guy already knows who his fans are. He doesn't need, you know what I mean? Like, if you're, to get behind someone, it should be like a little thing. Like, if you're going to be on the street team, for a little band, you don't want to be on U2's street team, and let's get the word out about U2. Well, you know what I mean? Who doesn't know about the new George Lucas movie coming out?
There's always people who you may be able to convert. A. B.
You can't convert me.
I can get 15, 20% discounts on any Star Wars poster out there. That's another great, special asset to belonging to the Lucasfilm fan
Yeah,
club.
if you're 5, you're 29. What poster are you going to get?
I like a nice Yoda hologrammed poster that I just ordered recently, and I get it framed like a gentleman, like a classy adult. Some people have paintings of Van Gogh and stuff. I don't think...
Yes, 13 people have those paintings.
Well,
the richest man in the world.
All right.
You're not comparing that with Van Gogh.
No, what I'm saying is people might have a print of Van Gogh. If they have a print of Van Gogh, what's the difference of me having a print of Yoda hologram?
Personally, if anyone sits there and has a Starry Night, a print up in their house, they're an idiot. They're living in a trailer.
Right. That's my philosophy exactly. George Lucas has done a lot of great things. I don't know why people are so down.
Howard the Duck?
A misfire. We've all had him. Magic Johnson's an incredible basketball player. He's going to have some missed shots from time to time. George made some mistakes, that's all. But,
Adopting children. That was his big mistake. Keeping this going on. You know what was his biggest mistake? Is not dying at 78.
Oh, my God.
Everybody would have thought he was a genius
That's
if he did.
terrible to say.
But we would have. We would have loved him.
No, but out of all the Star Wars movies, everyone's favorite is the ones he didn't direct.
Yeah, it's true. The ones everyone hates the most, the ones he directed.
Look, I personally love Empire the most.
You know what? Let me produce a film for Steven Spielberg. I bet it's great.
He came up with the story for Indiana Jones.
I'll give him a story. A rocket with laser eyes saves a little boy. Run with it, Steve, run. And I bet he has the greatest movie ever. And it'll have nothing to do with me.
I just think you're diminishing Mr. Lucas's vision. I mean, he clearly was
able
to...
God, do you think I could say, give me a robot with laser eyes that saves a little boy, and Steven Spielberg couldn't turn in a hit? First of all, I want to see that movie.
If you had storyboarded properly, maybe you could turn your thing into a movie. But that's besides the point. The point is, he did create Star Wars, the original one. And from there, a whole empire was created as well.
Ridiculous. Here's Thomas. Thomas, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Jaws 2, man. That really
horrible. Jaws 2 was terrible, but even worse was Jaws 3D. They just got worse and worse and worse, where somehow the shark became like Freddy from one of those slasher films.
Yeah.
Just like you thought it was dead and it leans back up. Terrible what they did.
And then the very little scene, Jaws 4, which had Michael Caine in it.
Yeah, that was a great one, where Jaws actually bit and took down an airplane. That's when Jaws followed them, remember?
Yeah.
It left Martha's Vineyard and followed them all the way down in the Caribbean.
Is that the time it was personal? I think that was the tagline.
Personal, yeah.
And that's why when he missed his Oscar for Hannah and Her Sisters. He misses
that
an
piece
Oscar.
of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an edge.
And so how come so few people have seen Superman 4? Everyone saw
because it's awful.
I think the first one's awful too, and the second and the third. I think it's a terrible franchise that I can't believe that people even reminded fondly when this new Superman came out. They go, "This ruined Superman." It's ridiculous. It's so bad.
He's definitely, I think, the just most non-mysterious.
.com. Here's our buddy Hard Rock Johnny. Johnny.
Hello, boys.
What do you say, pal?
How are you?
You notice I noticed this, Johnny. I was thinking about you the other day. You don't come out to Bar 9. You only come to parties when they're at the Hard Rock. That is the only Ron and Fez party.
I only throw Ron and Fez parties. I don't go to them.
I know.
Unless you can be the host.
Yeah.
Right. I enjoy hosting. What can I tell you?
Is it like me being invited to a radio show? Hey, stop by.
Exactly. You know, you don't go to a radio show. I don't go to parties in other places.
As a matter of fact, I ran into our buddy Eddie Trunk tonight.
Oh, boy.
And he came in with Black Sabbath and Ronnie James Dio. And did the thing, and he's so sweet. He goes like this, "Hey, Ron, would you like to meet the guys?" And I'm like, "No, that's okay." But they had already stuck their hands out and then started to pull back, so I had to go through like, "Yeah, I'd like to meet all the guys."
He's been hanging with them for like a week and a half.
It's got to stop.
He's like a roadie at this point with them. He interviewed him at VH1 Classic. He had him on Friday night on the show. He has him today.
And that makes Jimmy Norton love him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He actually sat in with Eddie on Friday.
Yeah, I know. He's crazy about Sabbath.
And did you hear him? I don't know if you heard him this morning. He was like just all insane goo goo gaga over him. He loves him. That's cool, man.
He's a damaged young man. He's so damaged.
Well, it's it's cool to be a fan. You know, it is. Kinda, it's kind of fun to see the other side of that, where they have all those crazy fans and you have all your crazy fans.
You know what? I went through a thing where I'm like, I didn't believe in fandom for a while, and now I'm like back into it. And I was actually thinking about getting up early tomorrow and going in and crashing on O&A to meet Quentin Tarantino, and I'm like, no, I can't do it to him again, because
you could.
No, the only time that I show up and hang out is when there's someone else. And if me and you occasionally got up and went and did their show, it would be cool. But they were really nice to me with the Ricky Gervais thing, and they were like, yeah, come, sit in, and I could be part of it. It really is. It does fall apart on you sometimes, but it's not bad to be a fan of something.
I think you should go for it, man. Those guys, Anthony's on your show all the time.
I know, but
you guys have a great chemistry with them. It'd be different if you didn't, if you guys didn't get along or something.
True, but
go, man.
But I only do it for two reasons. Number one, there's a big celebrity, and number two, naked women. I can't show up and do I had stuff to do in the office thing over and over.
You know what, though? It happens to everybody. You know how many emails I get when I have a band that someone wants to see, that like a good band playing by me? I get emails from people I haven't heard from in like a year and a half. Hey, buddy, just catching up. I heard you might have a concert coming up. Could I get any tickets? People do it. That's how.
People are awful, aren't they? Yeah. Aren't people awful?
Yeah, but it's as you get older, it's kind of the way things go. People drift in and out of your life, and when they need you or you need them, you give them a call and you're there because you were a friend at one point or something, and it's the way it goes.
Yeah, you're a good point. Earl, do you ever try to get into other shows when they got a cool guest? You ever do it to them?
I tried it a couple of times through when I was at WNEW, where I was just sort of like, hey, what are you doing here? You want to meet? And I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of here.
Who was somebody that you crossed the line for like that?
It was John Lee Hooker, oddly enough.
No, that is worth doing, though. That's actually worth doing.
And it wasn't even a show. It was like an actual taping. And he's like, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm just kind of filing things, doing stuff. And it was like, oh, I'm interviewing John Lee Hooker. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm a big fan. Mind if I sit it? And they were sure.
But see, all right, stop it, Frenchie. Here's the problem with me. When I sit in, I just start talking like, you know what I mean? I'm becoming very obnoxious. I don't know how to just sit in the back and be cool. Yeah.
Earl, you did that with Flavor Flav, with the O&A thing. You were all over that.
Oh, yeah. You were very, very excited about that.
I mean, it's one half of maybe the greatest rap group of all time.
And then who else showed up?
Yeah, when Chuck D showed up, Earl...
We went crazy, yeah.
He went a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Here's, Fez, what about for you? Is there somebody that you're like, I'm a big fan of this person no matter what happened?
Yeah, it was Ric Flair. I would always follow Ric Flair around party to party. If I would find out he was staying in a hotel, I would do the stalker thing. Was such a big wrestling fan.
Here comes, what John tell you, Fez?
Oh, yeah.
What did John tell you time and time again? You can't follow, can you? What about for you, East Side Dave?
I felt Tim Robbins a couple times. Is someone who I like to spy on. When
Tim Robbins?
Yeah.
You're that big of a fan?
Very, very much so.
What was it that grabbed you like that?
Believe it or not, it was Bull Durham. I thought not only
great movie, yeah,
was he sensational in it, but I thought his mechanics were great, and I thought like he really pulled off being a pitcher.
Yeah, I thought he did too. I thought he was that may be his all-time role.
Yeah,
he'll be remembered for forever.
The Nuke LaRouche, you know, it doesn't get better than that.
Speaking of which, this was this really cute thing that this kid sent to us. Do you remember the name of the band that took this video? Some kids from Philly. But anyway, Tim Robbins' son has a band, and they were playing somewhere, I think, in the Village, and Eddie Vedder came in with Tim Robbins and then climbed on stage to do a song with the kids' band.
I mean, unbelievable. That was the one day where I wasn't stalking Tim Robbins. But
right.
if I was...
your other hero, Eddie Vedder.
Pearl Jam's one of my favorite bands of all time. So to have then Eddie sing with Tim Robbins' Offspring, and then I heard they all gallivanted in the Village and met up with Sean Penn.
Yeah, but you can't follow him that long. But it would be very cool to be a high school kid and have Eddie Vedder jump up with your band.
You might as well have Jim Morrison join your band in 1968.
I mean, if the thing is, Tarantino was one of those filmmakers that just kicked off something in me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those people that saw Reservoir Dogs at the theater.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not on DVD years later. So it would be really cool to do, although he does, you know, sometimes get a little annoying as an interview subject. But I would love to meet the guy. But it's not like I would crash in there if they had Dylan on. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that I would go, all right, I will allow myself to look embarrassed.
I think you should definitely do it.
No, I can't do it. 7:30.
You have to. You have to go.
It's too early. You know what I'd like to do? Maybe I'll just leave Ant to accidentally swing by with him and see if he can't stop on my house and wake me up. It's a little early for me. 7:30. Here's let me hold on to Johnny there. Here's Mark. Mark, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, I've been hanging out random psychologists' waiting rooms, hoping to run into Fez Whatley.
You will sooner or later. That's for sure.
The next visit is this Thursday. You can see me pacing out in front of the entrance, deciding to go in or not.
You do the same exact thing with the show every day. By the way, remember he was crying on the show?
Yeah.
He left in tears and had to walk around Central Park tonight.
Oh, my God.
All in tears.
What?
And then I got here and he was locked in the office. He had locked himself in the office.
And you guys all laughed at my 6 months plan.
Come on in here, Lily. Lily, do you have somebody like, no matter what, you're like, I would meet that person?
Yes, and I get so much heat for this, but Mariah Carey.
You're an idiot. I want you to just get up and walk. What is it with you and the butterfly?
I love her. I don't know why. She's a psycho and she's crazy, but I love her.
I can't imagine that being your thing, Mariah Carey.
I even saw Glitter. I have to be honest.
You know what? I sat down once. I'm going to go, I'm going to watch Glitter like a funny joke. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what would be funny? Let's all watch Glitter. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Could not even put off.
Yeah,
as
it was
a joke.
awful, but I had to.
Yeah.
I just had to watch it.
Do you call her Mimi? Her friends do.
I didn't know that.
No, I just call her, my lamb.
Why? What
I don't
happened
know.
with you and her?
I liked her.
What age? When you're a little girl?
I was probably like 13, 14, and I just really just followed her ever since. And I know she's crazy, but she sings good.
You're so whacked. Seriously. You're the nuttiest girl. And by the way, Johnny, I wish you would have saw this. She smokes a big joint with Fred from Brooklyn and then passes out on the cat pee couch. And we do have pictures.
Maybe I should start coming to some of these parties.
Oh, yeah, these things get crazy. We would have fun except for HTG kept Tiana out. That was a big problem for everybody.
That's terrible. That's sort of a heel turn. That's sort of a betrayal on HTG's
A betrayal
part.
or Queen Bee wants to keep the other bees out and be the one that hands Fez the $250 Ben & Jerry's thing.
Ben Benson's.
$250 Ben & Jerry's. I mean, that is a lot of ice cream.
See, now that's the reason I'd come and hang out with Fez. He can get me a lot of ice cream now.
Yeah, you two ought to hang out all summer together. Joe, you're running Fez.
Yeah, every time you two comes to town on tour, I'd want to stalk Bono because I've got to have a Guinness with the guy at some point.
So you'll try to hang out after where you think that they are staying or whatever?
Yeah, well, there's some fan forums, and some people know his address and some places he likes to hang out at. I have yet to actually meet him, but I mean, who's better than Bono to sit down and have a Guinness with?
He did come up with a good thing, Lily. Mariah Carey only lives a couple blocks from here. You could easily hang out like a nut until the police come and get you.
I'm dying to meet her. I haven't met her.
Yeah.
Just tell me what else.
What about this? If she meets you and she digs you, would you sleep with her?
No, I don't think I would sleep with her, no.
Then I'm not going to hook it up. I would have went out of my way to get her to meet.
What if there was booze or the pot?
If it was Friday night, I
Fred
probably
from Brooklyn.
would've.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Take a look and see what you were doing with that Miller bottle. My God, I felt like calling your dad that night.
Oh, no, please don't do that.
Yeah. Nathan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, gentlemen, I just want to let you know it was a pleasure meeting you guys on Friday evening.
Yeah.
And I apologize to Black Girl for touching him so much. And I didn't know if you knew that I ate so much of Happy Typing Girl's nachos that she was a little upset with me. And I didn't know if she knew that I actually paid for those. Out of the goodness of my heart.
Nathan, you screamed that 90 times. I'm going to give you 2 words to remember, okay? Be cool. When you go out, you're hanging with new people, be cool.
I understand.
All right, my friend.
We'll do it again.
Take care. Take care. I don't want to make these closed parties. I want everybody to come out and have fun. But there's no sense in doing all that screaming.
I tell you one thing, though. When we go out, you cannot leave your food. If you have to go to the bathroom, you just have to suck it up, keep it in. No, not like that. You have to not leave your plate, because I left my plate for about 30 seconds to get a napkin, and 6 of my 7 mozzarella sticks were gone.
Is that right?
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Take them into the bathroom with you.
I only have time for one screamer, and that's Lucci. I can't put up with any more screamers. Too much. Hey, Arch, you're on Ron and Fez.
Buddies, 16809.
All right, my friend.
Hoo-ah!
I'll tell you who I had to meet, and I did it. Friday night, Ronnie, Fezzy, and everybody around him.
You know what I like about Arch? Not a tough laugher. I like a guy hanging out. It's like hanging out with Ed McMahon. He has a very quick laugh. I like that in a new friend.
I saw Arch at one point after Ron made a joke, grab his chest and say, "I'm having a stroke."
And I was loving him. I was loving him, and then Angel F from across the room. That was my two big finds. All right, talk to you later. Because you know what? I lost my old pal, Eastside Dave, at these parties. Oh, Big Bad Bill, he's Sweet William now.
Wait, what?
He's sitting there having a tea party with his chick.
No. We were sitting across from you the whole time.
You're a completely different Eastside Dave, though.
And that's good, though.
Out of town.
That's good.
I was drinking.
I prefer him.
Yeah, I do too, but you weren't swinging a lamp.
Okay.
Everybody likes that.
Okay. Well, actually, I did, I would have some shots with some of the fans by the bar, but when I would go upstairs, I would say, composure time.
Is that what you would do?
Yeah, I would actually say to myself, composure time.
And it works?
You know what? I want you to say the same thing to Nathan as he's screaming and unhinging his jaw to eat as many nachos as he possibly can. Be cool. It's not a bad way to go through life. Did no one else have an older brother? I remember whatever I did, my older brother would say, seriously, when you get there, be cool. Because if they start to whip your ass, I'm not going to help you. And I would always go like this. I know you will. Here's, what you want to have, Lil?
I was just going to say that Dave has his new girlfriend on such a short leash because... What? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, he kept, holding her hand and,
He loves her.
Like, when he was walking, he would always protect her. And he wouldn't even let Pitsy and I talk to her the entire night. We were trying to talk to Casey, and he would not allow us to talk to her.
You were so high. It was unbelievable.
You were deranged. And Pitts, I could say what he was.
You talked like a bong all night. You had nothing.
And Pitsy's great. I love him, and I actually was on good behavior.
Yeah.
Except he likes to do he keeps doing the back massages, the rubbings. Not with anyone else, just with my chick saying, hey, what's going on, Casey?
Look,
and it
I
gets
want
a
you to
little
understand
too
something.
familiar.
Pitts is in love before you were. And he has a lovely young lady.
I know.
And that's all he cares about in this world.
I absolutely know that.
He doesn't have another care in this world.
I know he doesn't. So because he does the same thing with me. I'm just saying.
Bitsy, you're lucky to have her.
I know I am.
Yeah.
And I didn't know when Mets baseball turned into sex talk, too, because that's all we were talking about outside the whole entire night, Dave. So
that wasn't me.
Well, it's sex talk because they're both effed. So that's what makes it sex talk. Hey, Brian. Brian, you're on Fez.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the whole stalker, obsession thing before with celebrities. I am way in with Morrissey. I love Morrissey. I think he's the man.
Word. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I've gotten I saw them at Radio City Music Hall, and they were, I looked all over the place to try to stalk him out, find him, and talk to him and stuff. And I know that he'd probably be really pretentious and all kinds of mean, but I don't know. It's just something about his music that I really have always dug about him.
Yeah, you're a little embarrassing. Thank you very much, Brian. It's one thing hey, I like this guy, but he's gushing like a chick. He's seriously, it sounds like Lily on the end of a joint right now, like she was the other night. And you know what she said to me?
What?
Should I get a flower tattoo? I go, I don't know, Lily. Please sit down.
Not that night.
And she goes like this. Did you just hear something? I go, we're in a room full of people drinking. Yes, so you're going to hear things from time to time.
There's a party coming up this weekend at F.H. Riley's, Huntington Village, Long Island. Everybody's going to be hanging out there. Art of the Topless, the band that did It Makes Me Fez with me at the Big Ass Bash, Hard Rock Johnny, they're going to be playing at 10.
Why do you act like that's the only thing they're known for? Your one song that you did with them.
I think that's what they're best known for.
Which was embarrassing to do a one-hit wonder that really wasn't a hit from the 90s.
I do not.
How far out on Long Island is that? Is it close enough?
It's pretty far.
Too far?
It was like an hour and a half for me, and I live in Jersey.
Oh, see.
That's far.
How far if we were to roll out there, Dave?
If you go from Manhattan to there, it would be about 45 minutes
That's
or so.
really far, man.
45. It's not that bad of a drive. Come on, 45 strong. That's what we say.
45.
We go 45 strong, and then we come back.
I was thinking to have Free FM tickets out in the car, but that's too far, isn't it, Earl? Do you want to make that scene?
Yeah, it's a little too far out. But
Too far for you?
No, not.
I feel like I owe the boys, though. They show up and they did such. What are you? Is it drinking? Is that it, Dave?
No, I think Mr. B has an excellent point. We should all go there. We should.
But I would like to support.
Yeah, there are friends.
Because Dawn is going to sing that night, right?
Yes, she is.
I feel like I should be there to support. It's this. Why can't you do it in Manhattan? Is my point. Or Brooklyn. Why are we going all the way out to Long Island?
Well, that's not where the bar is, and it's a great bar. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, I hear great things about it. What I'd love to do is someone pick up a doggy bag, bring me some of the food in here.
You got
what do people live out on Long Island?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a nice, beautiful marble bar with 2 televisions. Just a great place. Chairs.
I don't know yet. I don't know. I got to go. You going one way, you going the other way. Fez, I know you got your family here, right?
Yeah, I got my family coming into town. But, you know, I got to support my chick, Don Cumia, Anthony's sister.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be heading out there, bringing my fam with me.
You taking your sister?
Yeah.
I'll go out there because I don't miss the cuckoo.
Just try to keep some distance from my sister this time.
Talk about a hit from the 90s. Woo! Woo! And she's divorced now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Second time.
Why don't you get them to play Beautiful Loser for her then?
I am not.
There's a little something going out, Florida style. Ed, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez.
Yeah.
No, Dave, he's an idiot. It's an hour and 20 minutes in Bennington.
Hour 20? I don't know what kind of car you're driving, sir, but it wasn't fast enough. Took me 45.
All right, you know, I'm getting the same thing from HTG. That is 45.
Yeah. And she knows. She's got a good head about her.
Does she really? Mm-hmm. But she drive too fast?
She knows distance?
Yeah.
If you want to stop halfway at my house and have a sandwich or something, just to recoup, you're more than welcome.
By your house, you mean Rose's house?
Yeah, Rose's
Yeah,
house.
I wouldn't mind stopping by and seeing Rose. You know what? If we actually have to cut up a body in the middle of the night, we'll stop and see Rose. No, I could never sleep when he comes in here. How come you never eat? How come you don't settle down with a nice girl?
All right, we're going to a row house.
So you're getting out there, Fez?
Yeah, I'm going to F.H. Riley's on Saturday.
Are you getting a car too, or how are you doing it?
I haven't figured out how I'm getting there yet, because now I do have to bring the sister and my nephew. So I haven't figured out.
See if see if Jody would put up 2 cars, because that's too much for 1 car. I can't be packed in.
Could you guys swoop around Queens?
Swoop around. We're going to meet here if we do any with swooping.
Oh, okay.
We're all going to meet here.
This is be great, too, because this gets me out of my Saturday Easter egg hunt. Because my parents want me to go down to Jersey on Saturday and have the Easter egg hunt then. And I don't want to be a 30-year-old anymore.
All right, now here's the deal. You know how there is people are always jumping up and singing with Are the Topless, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, they are our friends. Patrick is our friend. Mike is our really good friend. And again, if those guys supported us, yes. Could they do something in the city where I could support them? That would be easier. But, you know, they're not there. They're at F.H. Riley's. Anyway, you can sing Bunsen with them. That wasn't in mind. That's
I would absolutely be honored. In fact, my friend's going to work on trying to track down some of our lost tracks as we speak.
What lost tracks?
The guys with ears of basement tapes.
What about Sunglasses at Night? That's not a lost track. You can still catch it on VH1 Classic.
We're going to try and make it, not our version.
You did not know there was another song called Sunglasses at Night.
Corey Hart or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he was one of the 2 Corys.
Well, he was a joke.
All right, sing your version.
We wear sunglasses at night. It may not be that bright.
Sounds just like it to me.
There may not be any light, but we wear sunglasses at night.
Hideous.
We like to go in the park, even though it may be a little dark.
So stupid.
We like to hear the doggy go bark, and we wear sunglasses at night. And it just keeps repeating. There's only about
Stupid.
12 lines in the song.
You sound like the stupid part of Thriller.
That's not.
All right, here's Kevin. Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, let me pull the big pen out of my eardrum after listening to that. But
Yeah, said
as much as I hate to agree with Eastside there, he's absolutely right. It's 45 minutes. My office is across the street, and I extend a parking invitation if you guys come out to SH's, and you know why it's at SH's.
Yeah, it's a fun place. It's a great. It's one of those celebrity restaurants.
Well, it's a celebrity when you're there. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you very much. I do want to go out there. The whole thing is going so far.
You know, and there's a great little diner right next to FH Raleigh. It's really a very pretty little town.
Yeah, because when I'm in a restaurant, I like to leave and go to a diner. Seriously, I'm sure Opie loves the fact you're promoting the diner across the street.
That's not what I meant.
You know what?
Johnny,
I had to kick you till you're dead. I really should.
That's not what I meant at all. I'm
Yeah.
saying after you've been drinking, having pub grub.
Pub grub? That's what you're calling their food? Pub grub?
Food that you eat at a bar is called pub grub.
I'm sure they're happy to hear that.